Bump, bashers. Welcome to Friday, June the 13th on iBashers. It is I, Dirk. It's Friday night fun. I've got a bottle of Cantina Zaccanini Pinot Grigio over ice with some seltzer to enjoy with the gang once the big guy shows up. Hey, Fahrenheit 451 back at the top. Back at the absolute top, the king. Live for the king. Yeah. It's a great song from Ronnie James Dio and Kerry Livgren, the guitar player from Kansas. If you're a Kansas fan, you would know that Kerry Livgren was one of the big writers of that band. And he left the group, or he went solo, and he created an album called Seeds of Change. And he was looking for all different singers to sing on his record. And he enlisted Ronnie James Dio, who had just left Rainbow and was just about or just in the process of joining Black Sabbath and replacing Ozzy Osbourne. And he did two songs, Mask of the Great Deceiver and Live for the King, and they're absolutely great. And Dio didn't write them, which is very unusual because he writes all his own lyrics. And it is right up his street, absolutely glorious and gorgeous. So it's great. So live for the king. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dave Fahrenheit 451, just in case you forgot me, never, baby. You're the king. You're the king of the top of the bashers. Number two, it's Danny Gutierrez who got in here number one yesterday. I got to send a basher of the day. I'm working on a new one right now, so that should be out any minute now. Really super fun. And number three, it's Panel Power. What's up, kiddo? How are you? Great to see you in the room, as always. And Panel Power always says he's wearing the coaxial 8750. Ooh, wunderbar. I'm wearing my Millie today because I, dressed nice. And I wore those shoes I haven't worn in ages. They were in a suitcase for years and years and years. And you know what, man? They hurt. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get home and put on my sketches. Kevin Landon, the beautiful ones here at Upvote number 4 today. Happy Friday to Dirk and Oisin and all the bashers. We'll catch the replays after work tonight. Slansha. Upvote if you can. Is it working? There it goes. If you can. A dark night indeed, says Ray. A dark night indeed. I'm confused. Which Batman is Dirk? I know. It's AI. I couldn't figure it out. I tried. I said, one of them's got to be like a Robin. And just gave me two Batmans. But I was at it for like 2 hours. I was like, damn you, AI! Why can't you get anything right? Happy Friday, Dirk and all the bashers. Great to be able to catch a Friday Night Live. Hey, Steve Zaleski. Cheers to you. I had a very, very strong double espresso at the hotel. Holy macaroni. Shit. And I had gone to the men's room, which was gorgeous. I've been there a couple of times, but I never ate at this particular restaurant that they have downstairs. I've been to the Bertelsmann bar a million times, but this place was just fantastic. I came back to the shotgun blast coffee. It was delicious. Catman and Furboy working till 5:30. Have fun and be safe. Upvote and subscribe, everyone. Become a Patreon if you can. Is it not working? There it goes. God, it's so slow today. God damn it. Let's give you the Andrew Wolkowicz commemorative gong that belongs just to you. Dean, Dean, roses are red, violets are blue, it's Dean. Where is Robin? Come on, who is Robin? Who knows? It's a big mystery. It's only a mystery, just like you and me. How the hell do you use Batmobile around New York? Quicker to use the train. Indeed, you could imagine the Batmobile getting stuck on 3rd. It's not 3rd Ave, it's 3rd. That's how you know when somebody's not in New York or when they say Ave. I was up on Lex Ave. I was on 5th Ave. I'm like, where are you from? I'm from here. We don't say that. Dave Fahrenheit 451 says, Dean, same thing that clouds, rain clouds. I can't really remember. Hope it's definitely gone. Absolutely no idea. It's pretty funny. Mart and Bronson are here. Upvote and subscribe if you can. Why not? Why the hell not? Thank you so much. Vaughn, man, what a week. Glad to have packed it up and put a bow on it. Me too. Ciao a tutti. My bashing waits. Well, here we are, bashers. Let's do it. I'll have a couple of drinks. We'll probably talk about Air India. We'll talk about Israel bombing Iran. because I guess the big guy's coming in, so I'm sure his show was all about that. That's not good. Glen Parker is the place to be. Farm living is a life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. There he is, over there.
How's it going?
Good, very good. We started at 6:05 today.
Yeah.
I'm doing the 05s now. I'm doing 5:05, 6:05.
I started at 10:05 or whatever that is for you, 4:05. It's nice.
There you have it, kids.
Yeah.
How's my red tint? I have a new red tint on I have a new lighting choice. A little bit of red shadow on one side. Is that better?
It's not bad.
It's still too bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm missing. I took one of my lights not down. I turned it off, and I have a little LED here now on the desk, thinking that would do. And I also have one of these glamour puss things.
Oh yes. Oh, you have a ring light.
Yeah, so I can go do all the influencer things. Oh, they're always doing this. They're always doing this. They're always going.
Oh, I know, man.
I just don't have the tits for it. That's all I don't have. God damn it.
Just eat more cake and drink more wine. You'll get the tits.
You don't want man boobs, though. That's an unfortunate. Oof. The man boob is a very bad thing.
Yeah, certainly.
It's not the best.
You get rid of that by you don't drink, and you cut off the vices. I've definitely lost a lot. I was out filming myself yesterday, doing a walkabout, and looking at the footage. I was like, oh yeah, you can see the difference already.
Oh yeah, I showed the pictures to Carrie, to my sister. I was like, oh, you want to see his Petit Uomo Ensembles? And she's like, wow, he lost weight. Oh wow, slim.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm not slim. I'm just not a slim guy. I'm a big burly guy, but certainly losing the gut a little, and slimming up around the neck and jawline and stuff which is good. It's fucking about time. Hey, there's John for $10. Sorry, I missed. Who needs a drink? Been a slow week. Let's go back from dinner. 4 vodka martinis
into the night.
John was saying he might come on.
Come on,
just shoot.
We're going to talk about how we're all slaves to Benjamin Netanyahu. How we're all his bitch. The whole world is his bitch.
Well, of course, John is in, he's a border control kind of guy, and he's connected with all of that. So, when all the ICE raids and so on are happening in LA and the riots, I was having chats with him back and forth, and he was giving the counterpoint, more sober, measured assessment of what's going on. And I was going to have him on my show, but then he had a dinner.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to talk about it. I think he likes to just shoot the shit sometimes.
Also, not only that, we could briefly touch on it, but it's such a Debbie Downer at this point.
It's a downer.
It's because everybody wants to have a drink and relax. And we could touch upon and get a couple of people mad, a couple of people glad. And, but other than that, it's just like, you know what? We are powerless. You know what? We're just fucking pawns in this game. There's nothing any of us can do. We can react. We can say blah blah blah, and then those guys, Benjamin. That guy will do whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't. Care.
I think it was Gabor Mate who's.
You explained, because your show, people know who all these players are. Say, when you say a name like that, tell people who that is.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's a Holocaust survivor. He's a writer. He's a psychologist, and he's a common commentator on shows and so on. I think Piers Morgan has had him on, and people like that. Gabor Mate is fantastic, and there's Daniel Mate. It's a full family of brilliant, critical thinking minds, and he's a very touching gentleman when he speaks. He's he really reaches your heart when he talks about these kind of problems and so on. And he survived the Holocaust himself, etc., etc. So it's very powerful. But he did say the other day, he goes, the truth is, all of those protests all around the world, all those millions of people on this enormous world scale movement. But the truth is, we haven't saved one Palestinian child. And it was an arresting moment for me. I was like, oh shit, He goes, not all the activism all over the world is wonderful, but the reality is it hasn't saved one child.
No.
Oh my God. And I was just
Because
like,
they're not of any interest to them. They don't
of
care.
course.
They're not
They
human.
don't see them as human. They're not
They're
human.
human.
Yeah.
No,
They're garbage.
not.
Yeah.
No, they're garbage. Wow, that's a way of looking at it. They're
That's
garbage.
the way they see it. That's why they're able to do what they do with a smile on their face. John, if you want to come on or later or whatever, just stick it in the chat or write to
Bring
me on
alcohol and
Instagram.
smokes and
he's already a few martinis in and have a big silly grin on his face. Well,
we won't see his face.
See his face.
Maybe we should all wear masks. I was talking to my friend the other day who's he's kind of not an older gentleman, but he's in his 60s and is in great shape. And he's a bit of a lug, you know. I don't know if you've ever met him, but he used to live in my building. And he's a big lug. And he does a lot of like physical labor. So the guy's built like a brick shit house. And he's like, Dirk, I'm so fucking sick of my life. I'm always lugging all this stuff, and I work for all these rich bitches and horrible men. I'm sick of it. He goes, what should I do? And I said, Mike, you should just wear a mask and start an OnlyFans. It's time. Just start reaping the rewards. You've kept yourself in great shape. You know, I said, you don't have to do anything overtly sexual. You could just allude to it. Just tell him, because he looks like he just got out of prison. You know, he's got that appeal. And I'm like, just start that, because he goes, I feel like I have no control over my life. I said, you do have control over your life, but you have to just grab it when you can. You can't just keep doing that. And it's like the people with our
you
politics.
You can't sit around and complain.
No, you can't. Look at this.
Listen, 6 months from now, you can either have 6 months of excuses or 6 months of progress. Which one do you want?
Which one do you want?
John, I emailed you, by the way. I'm not going to stick it in the chat. We'll have all these fucking troll fuckers trying to come in in the background.
Oh, yeah. I've never been besieged by them because, you know, I've been putting the link up on Wednesdays and no one's come in. Batman, I work in the shadows. Catman, I nap in the sunbeams. Yeah, baby. Here's your bass playing friend, Paz, Kill the King. I didn't sing that one, but I could sing another one. And Scotty Love, who's in Venice right now. Hey, 19. He spent the afternoon at Corner Bar. That's his favorite corner pub. He likes to go there and hang out. I said, look out for that guy with the mill gas and take a look at it, because I'm pretty sure it's fake.
Yeah, when you compliment a guy on his watch and he responds kind of indifferent or badly or weird, it's either because he doesn't give a shit and somebody gave it to him and he doesn't care about watches and he thinks you're freaking weird for pointing it out. It's like saying great shoes, great scarf, whatever, great mustache. Or it's a fake. If it's a Rolex, it's a fake, and he just doesn't want to have to get into a conversation and hand it to you so you can see it. You know,
I mean, it's just so like the indices are the loom is very, very orange, super orange.
Okay,
that's a dead giveaway, because then they're not that orange. It's pretty pale. It's pretty,
well, that's a famous thing. They're paler than the seconds hand, right? That's how you know one.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's way paler than that. Way paler. Dave Fitzsimons, hey Bashers, and Arya, great to see you. Where you been? You beautify. And yes, let's talk about the beautiful ladies in the room, because I love the Basher ladies. And you know what? I looked at my demographic, and it's just getting better and better and better. I love having beautiful ladies in the room. You know what? It's great counterpoint, because guys are slobs and dicks, and we've got terrible opinions about stuff. Sometimes we just need you to set us straight, and that's all. Stealth Tech, hello. That's a name I don't know. Hi, Stealth Tech. Hey,
he was in my chat.
Well, hello, and I love that bike. It's a Marshall. Well, they're fake, but you know, I do have a little tiny Marshall practice amp here somewhere. But I'm not a real guitar player, so why the hell would I have Marshall stacks? It would be pointless. That's like me getting a wall of AC30s. I want them, but I shouldn't have them.
So here's a funny thing that happened on my channel. So I ordered a Seiko from Market Long Island Watches like 2 months ago, and I told my audience, "Oh, it's coming soon. It's coming soon." They got very excited because the lads are in the mood for buying themselves a $500 Seiko. You know,
sure, who isn't?
So I wouldn't say which watch it was, which model, and where I got it, because I wanted it to be a surprise when it got here. Anyway, it got lost in the mail. Long story short, he sent me another one. Blah blah blah. I'll deal with the other lost one when I get around to it. But I have it here, and I took some photos of it and on my phone. But I've been trying to get my audience to come over and fucking follow me on Instagram again because they've been all too lazy and they haven't redone it with my new Instagram.
It's all their fault.
So what I did is, okay, here's my new Seiko, and I posted it to Instagram. I was like, now you have to go to Instagram to see it. Exclusive. I forced them to go over. But then I felt a little bad, and I said, you know what? I'll tell you what. If you come over to Dirk's show, I'll show it on Dirk's show. So that's what I'm going to do on this show. Yeah.
First of all,
we'll wait 10 minutes. So
yeah.
Let's get some super chats in first.
Everyone loves Seiko here. Everyone. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, only good things. Andy M has been crazy like a maniac because he said that it takes everything in his soul to not order one a month. He just is Seiko wild. Here comes John. Travis, $10. Let's give him a big bang boom. Big bang boom before John comes in. Hey, let's bring him in. Hey. I don't think I have my correct paperwork in order. Will I have to go? Will I be deported to El Salvador?
Forget about the ICE raids. Forget about Israel. Who was that blonde in that red dress?
And why
why did we not have the full story on that? I want those details.
There's no story. She was working. People are like, "Oh, you gotta get her number and stuff." I'm like,
She's IDF.
that makes her sexy. Actually,
she's Mossad.
Listen, the only thing that can make that woman sexier is if she was lethal. Oh,
she was lethal. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty good of you too, because you were like kind of surreptitious about it. You were. It looked like you were recording yourself, but you were like slowly panning over.
Terrible. I'm terrible.
It was well.
Let me pull her up. I'll pull it up here. Where is it?
Men.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Like I said, I apologize. I'm like 4 martinis in. My wife had to drive home from dinner. It was a good time though. It was a good time, dude. Vodka is. What did you say? It's the cocaine of alcohol.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
it's also the thing everybody dies.
Fucking look. Good.
Yes,
God.
that's.
It's like if a statue came to life.
Yeah, she was in those heels. She was approaching 6 foot tall. It was pretty frightening. Yeah.
You have an eye for women in red dresses because remember that one video you shot with Carissa. And there was
and the other
there
one,
was that chick in the
actually,
one that I said
Carissa spotted her.
Carissa spotted her. Yeah.
Oh, that's
she was
right.
Like, actually, I can't keep my eyes off this girl's ass and boobs, and I turned the camera around.
Yeah, that was the one I said. If a woman was a Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, there is something about a blonde in a red dress. It is a lethal combination. It really truly is. It's
good
a fantastic thing.
I'm gonna go look for this other. What do you mean, good for me? I didn't get her number. I'm not.
Listen. For what it's worth, you're a hell of a lot closer than the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm 25 feet away.
He's closer to striking out as everybody else is.
Yeah, exactly.
She's working. It's a modeling job.
Yeah, can you imagine the most annoying person on earth walking up while she's trying to work?
Oh yeah,
and everyone, the whole piazza's staring at her. You know, I'm like, I'm not going to be that asshole.
I'll ruin it for the both of you. A month from now, she's picking her toenails and farting. In
women
front
like
of the
that.
TV.
Fart.
And you'll forgive it for a while, and then you'll be like, you know what?
It's impressive that you have this queued up so quickly too. Like I have to say, like you just had that queued up instantly.
I mean, this is the Howard Beach version, though. The other girl is a 10
this
out
is
of 10.
This is Long Beach. This is Long
Beach
Beach versus Manhattan.
Yeah. She's got a tube dress that she got at the Roosevelt Field Mall.
It's fine. That's Rosie Perez and the other one's like
the legs are very short because she needs heels to elongate the silhouette.
Still, come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. She needs a nut. Yeah.
This guy got dumped, by the way, because I started following her on Instagram. He got dumped, man. He was super possessive. He starts kissing her when he noticed that we were noticing her. And he's super possessive, but then he got the boots. She went for a taller guy because he's the same height as her.
Yeah,
she went for a classic Venetian tall, skinny dude with that stupid hairdo that they all have. But Carissa's a bubbly Cuban, Miami Cuban. She gets up, runs over and starts talking to her and gets her Instagram and everything. Look, she sees us filming her.
Yeah. Well, girls don't find that threatening. When a good-looking girl goes up to another good-looking girl and compliments,
Right.
her outfit or whatever, they find that charming. That's
for sure.
It's like a single guy with a cute dog. Like he's walking his dog, and the girl's like, "Oh my God, your puppy's so cute. Can I pet him?" And you're like, "Absolutely, you can." That's all part of the. Oh, look at that!
Actually, I had the conversation on. It was recorded because she had her microphone still running the whole time, but it was kind of lame, so I didn't include it.
She's all happy.
Look how giddy she is. You know what? That's really
the whole
nice,
day.
Though.
That was so fun. That was the opposite of the Chloe shoots. The Chloe shoot was
she's not intimidated by another pretty girl. That's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the girls that are intimidated. The guys are the same way. Oh, you like that guy? That guy's fucking. He's a dog. What are you? Well, you like that guy? Oisin is the worst. If I ever say somebody, he's like, "You like that? You're gay." What do you? Because he likes the guys that look. The only one he appreciates are the ones that look like they'd be great women.
No, it's just when you go, "This guy is the hottest guy in the world." I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
I mean,
and then you go, "This guy is ugly," and I'm like, "Ugly to you, but not to all the women."
I don't think
on the
anybody's
planet
ugly.
Earth.
Like somebody who goes, Johnny Depp is maybe when he was 20 he was beautiful, but now he just looks like a bag of wine.
Yeah, Johnny Depp didn't age gracefully. Brad Pitt is aging like
Brad Pitt is fat guy.
Did you see his new photo shoot? I'm gonna pull it up in a minute.
I mean, what is that about?
His new photo shoot is insane.
How old is he now? Like 60?
He's 64, 63.
Jesus.
Yeah.
64, the little eyebrow raise there, Oisin. So great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man. Well, I mean, you are in Italy, We
got a big bang boom from look, the franchise club, $20.
No,
hello, darling, slob, troll, and Dick checking in. Hair is almost back. It is. Congrats on dropping the pounds, Ush. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. My wife even said something the other day. I was watching a video that Oisin put out. I can't remember which one it was, but he had like his arm up a little bit, and my wife walked by, and she's like, "Damn, Oisin been lifting weights or something? He's looking good."
He has been. He's been working out, getting his
shoes.
Let me give you a big bang boom for that. Thank you very much. Let's go with the kazoos.
This is the GQ shoot. It came up on my Insta the other day. I was like, you fucker, you look so good at 64 or whatever.
64, man. Come
on. See the shots. He's just rugged as hell.
Timeless.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, shut up, Dick. He's way better looking now. He's kind of like, like Pierce Brosnan is like, is amazingly handsome now. Not that he wasn't before, but sometimes men eventually just find, look at that. He looks amazing.
Amazing.
Rugged looks great on him.
It's so funny because you guys are a little bit older than me, but like when you think about when you were a kid and you thought about what a 64-year-old looked like,
I went to their funerals.
This is not what you picture.
Man,
he had a long life. He had a good life. How old was he? 64.
He's 64. He was having trouble getting out of bed towards the end, but he kept his dignity.
You know what Brad hasn't done either? There's no work there.
Oh, there is. So? I've seen people dissect it. There are guys.
He's got to be on. He's got to be on TRT too.
What's TRT?
Yeah, everyone's
testosterone replacement therapy.
What does that do? It makes you younger, or just
it just boosts your testosterone, so it like retains muscle growth and kind of it keeps you lean, keeps your testosterone levels up. Oh, it's got to be, man. There's no way.
Oh, he's definitely had work because there's experts on Instagram who do that kind of work, and they're like, so let's break down what Brad had done. Here's a photo from 2022, and here's a photo from last week. I think what he's had done here is a blah, 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 blah. And apparently there's some new guy in town in Hollywood who's making everybody young. He's like doing incredible work on everyone. The Kardashian mom, what's her name?
Kris Kardashian.
Kris, she's gone. She's 70 or something, and she looks 40 or 35.
It's called adrenochrome.
Well, that's the best kind of work is when you can't tell.
Yeah. Well, she looks like, first of all, that woman's had too many facelifts. She needs to have corrective surgery because she's had so much work done already. So if she's discovering the Dr. Sabah secret, Cindy Crawford, she's got that French doctor with the miracle melon, because you look at her, she's my age and she looks unbelievable. She looks great. And her daughter might be more beautiful than her. It's possible. Kia Gerber. Wow.
Oh yeah, Gerbers. Oh, that's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous stuff. So here she is now. Look on the right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's good
what happened?
That's good work right there.
She was still a good-looking woman before.
Sure.
This
she's looking more like she's looking more like her daughter.
Yeah, she looks like a daughter.
Yeah. Daughters.
Look, there she looked like Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, look, they're actually showing. Look, when she went in for the work. Anyway, this guy, I guess he's charging top dollar now, and everyone's getting the work done.
Oh,
I guess she is too.
I respect the guys that are honest about it, though.
Yeah,
like the guys that will say, like, "Hey, I do this, I do that." It's like it's so funny when you see like The Rock or Terry Crews go on
Lindsay
these
Lohan.
shows and they won't admit that they're taking steroids. It's like, come on, dude, you're 50-something years old.
Look at Lindsay Lohan. She looks 30.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it has to be a combo of everything.
Can I ask you, how old is she?
Lindsay Lohan.
She's in her 40s.
In front of you.
Is she?
She's in her 40s. Yeah.
Is she 40 already?
I think
so.
Lohan,
come on, time is going by.
Yeah, man. She's up there.
My niece just graduated and got a fucking new car. The world is crumbling. The world, it's all over.
I'm gonna fuck up my algorithm and Google how old is Lindsay Lohan, and then my phone's gonna think my phone's gonna think I'm coming out of the closet.
Why is that?
That is scary though. Look at that. Jeez. Jesus.
Lindsay Lohan is 38.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah, she's almost.
These chicks are a pack of dog food, and they've just had so much money infused into them. There's nothing great looking about any of them. They just have a lot of money, so they can look their best.
Yeah.
There's no natural beauty in that family.
I mean, it is their business, to be fair.
It's their business. Yeah. Best facelift ever. Ricky Lake, remember her from, I guess, Hairspray. She was a big chubby girl and she lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah.
She was just
she had a talk show back in the day too.
She had a talk show. She just said, "Oh, she looks great," and she goes, "Yeah, well, I had a facelift and I went on Ozempic." Honest, right off the bat.
Yeah, no there you go.
Yeah,
dude, so many people are on Ozempic too.
Yeah,
it's like it's TRT for women.
It is. And it has a youthful factor too. I insist it does. It's not just weight loss. There's something else that it's doing. They're gonna figure it out eventually what it is. DG quit the booze. Yeah, he was a big drinker. All those years that he was all fucking gorgeous, he was hitting the booze at the same time. That's genetics, man. Can't be great genes,
There's got to be a part of that though. If you're not drinking, that does age you.
Drinking ages, especially hard booze.
Yeah. If you're
you like that guy? that's part of our act. That's our cat skills routine, Joe.
Yeah.
A funny thing happened to me on the way up to Grossinger's. It's our shtick.
Dirk, how you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I've been all over the place, man. I haven't checked in with you guys.
You've been locking up all the.
You've been grabbing kids off the street and throwing them into vans.
You are sheltering children underneath your floorboards, are you not?
Oh Jesus Christ! What movie is this from? Ice cream, lollipops, and they're all free today.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. You got me. You stumped me.
Chitty bang bang.
Chitty bang bang. Leon, that's a crazy reference. That before we get eaten up by the crowd, Leon is Israeli Jewish, so don't get on his back for quoting Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, I'm allowed
because God knows this guy got whole lot of shit for quoting Inglourious Basterds.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that the hate clip that's been circling around?
Yeah. This guy in England, you would know who he was, but he decided to edit it, and it made me sound like an anti-Semite.
Oh God, is that the? That's
no.
the,
Let's not go down. Let's not feed that.
Yeah.
But it was just ridiculous. I was like, shit, I love that movie, and I quote it all the time.
That's a great movie, man.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Man.
I mean, every Tarantino film is like, that's all it is. It's dialogue. It's like the old school plays. Like, that's the whole point of it.
Because he's a student.
I love that
film. He's like us. He likes to quote movies. He loves to break down scenes. And he does borrow from a lot of greats.
And they say that's the you remember the scene in Inglourious Basterds where he because obviously people microanalyze these movies, but there's that scene where he meets Shoshana at the restaurant for the first time, quote unquote. Yeah. And remember how he insists that she waits for the cream?
Oh yeah, he's like, wait for the cream. I can't say it in French. I don't know.
But it's because he knows that she was a dairy farmer.
Yes, there's all these little.
It's
clues.
Like that dark twist of like, I know where you come from. You're a dairy farmer, so I'm gonna insist on that like little point. It's just
so much nuance.
Yeah,
he eats one bit of it, and then he looks at her and he goes, "Verdict." And she goes, he just kind of goes like this, and he goes, yeah, and then he puts out a cigarette in it.
Yeah, that's the little knife twist at the end.
Oh, it's nice. And then he goes, oh, there was something else, but it slipped my mind. Whatever.
It slipped my mind. Yeah.
That was his breakout role. The entire world was convinced that it was the greatest actor of all time.
Oh,
sure.
Meanwhile, we saw him in so many other movies, and he's essentially the same.
He's a one-trick pony.
He is the same character.
We didn't know because we had never seen him before. And
oh my God! Who is that?
Yeah.
What? You couldn't believe it. But the best scene in that movie is definitely this.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's the
Diamond Tree. Oh, the best. Oh, underground when it happens. Yeah.
Glazer.
Glazer.
Yeah.
The tension.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Diane Kruger with her hat and her champagne in the coupe. Oh, dear God.
I also am curious about your dialect. What city are you from?
Pitzpalau. I'm from Pitzpalau.
Amazing.
Say avitazay to your balls.
Eddie with $10. No, not true, John. It's because the cream is made from lard and wanted to see if she would eat it.
That is. You're right.
Swine.
Eddie, you're right. That is the second.
I know more than you know. Yeah. You need to start working immediately for the CIA ad.
That is the second version of it. Yes,
correct. You're hired.
Yes,
Eddie.
Correct, Eddie. You're right. That is the second version of that story because there are those two competing narratives. But I've heard that one before too. You are correct.
Wow, smarty pants.
So, John, let me ask you something. There's this thing going on. You're not on social media a hell of a lot, but there is a thing going around where they get stars, famous singers and actors and so on, and they put them on the lie detector test and they ask them questions.
Yeah.
Things like, have you ever looked up yourself on Google? Do you do that on a regular basis? And like Pedro Pascal is like, no. And the dude is like, that's a lie. And then he goes completely red. And he's like, okay, I do every now and then.
I mean, I think those are all for show because the way that they have that stuff set up, like the components and stuff, looks a little off. But they talk a lot, which kind of fucks everything up. Because if you're talking during the polygraph, it messes up kind of the physiology. Oh. So it's not. Yeah, I think most of it's just kind of for show, and I think they probably have real examiners, doing it just to give it some validity. But yeah, those kind of questions are a little. I think it's just all kind of for fun. Those aren't really.
Dirk, we should do a wrist check. What do you have on?
What are you wearing?
Milgas.
Oh, Millie,
spotted that. The
do you want to put your camera on just on your watch, and then you can?
Well, I'm wearing the same thing I'm wearing in the Avatar, which is my.
Oh, okay, great.
Is there any way you can get off camera and show us that puppy without reveal?
There
you go.
That's the way to do it.
No dates. So
okay, everybody dissect whatever that fabric is made of and what kind of wood is on that wall. Also, get the longitude and the latitude.
Try to read the serial number and see where it was purchased.
That's the
Yeah, man.
1-2 series, right? It's the
That's
41.
the one
It's the
too.
latest.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
41 milli. That's it.
Nice.
I've been actually tried on
Dirk had one
the
of those for one day, for one
I tr-
night.
For
did you
Emmett. I
really?
had
Oh,
Emmett's.
Emmett's.
We went out and we went bowling drinking, and then we're sitting and like, let's trade watches for a week. So we swapped them out, and then the next morning he goes, I think we should swap back
For a week. For a week,
because he was going to
great.
LA and he was coming back. So, but he had second thoughts about it, and she was like, "Don't do that." I was like, "Why not?"
Don't do that. That's like swapping wives. You know, let's try this. See if we like it. No, don't. Bad
Do
idea.
you have a problem with that?
Mr. Swinger over here.
I'm the last
Monsieur
player in the
Monsieur
world.
doing-
Lapedite.
Mr. Lapidite. I'm doing the
Hey,
the
speed.
on the
Speedy.
1550.
It's Speedy
He's back
Shabbat.
up. Yeah.
It's
Back on
Speedy
the
Sabbath.
1450 again.
Yeah,
Speedy Sabbath.
Beautiful.
That's a great looking watch. That's the
Yeah.
that's the 86, right? 1986. Is that the one you have?
1987, yeah.
87. Yeah.
861, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the bracelet you want.
Long hour. Yeah.
I tried on a
Links.
gold. I tried on a gold Day-Date today. I went to a jewelry store at 1986 Day-Date, 36
Ooh.
mil.
36. How was it on your?
It actually looked.
wrist.
I mean, I'm about a 7-inch wrist. And
No,
it
you're big.
actually looked-
You've more.
You think
it's
so?
more. Yeah, I've seen you in photos. You sent me a photo when you got the Sea Dweller. The
Oh, the Sea Dweller. Yeah, you're right.
And
yeah,
it looked like a
that
sub
looked
on
like a
you.
sub on me. Yeah.
Well, you have the guns, man. You have those fucking enormous. You're lifting weights every day,
I know,
so it's
I'm
it's beefed
trying to
you
look.
up.
I'm trying to look like Brad Pitt when I'm in my 60s, man. Trying to stay.
We
fit.
all want that. We all want that.
But I tell you what, man, that 36 it's a good size. I know a lot of people think
Sure.
it looks dainty, but it's
Well,
one of those.
it's gold,
once
so
you
it's going to
start-
have more presence.
It's got
you know,
more.
Tony
hand to it.
Soprano had a 36 on that
That's-
big arm of his.
That's
That
right.
is
Yeah, he's
the
huge,
default, like, for any guy that says a 36 is dainty. Tony Soprano wore a 36, and there's nothing dainty about. Tony
Well, they all
Soprano.
used to wear 36 for the longest
That's
time.
all there was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
War. That was the style,
Yeah.
Emmett says it didn't fit.
good.
It didn't fit him.
No, he
and
would have needed an extra link. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I have to say it just didn't. It wasn't the best on his wrist. It didn't suit him. It was funny in Ireland over a year ago at this point, nearly 2, and he was trying on different watches. Like my gold sub did not suit his wrist at all. Just didn't look right on his skin, on his whole constitution. Just didn't work, and the steel fucking sub was just.
Well, I will say the
yeah.
following.
Or he could wear. He could wear
Definitely
a deep
suited
sea.
me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, you have decent sized wrists too.
725. I'm not bad.
Yeah,
He's about 7.5.
yeah,
that's-
he's the same
he's
wrist as me.
Pushing
That's
an
the
8.
shitty part. You can't really do much about the wrist size. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like whatever your wrist size is, that's what it is. Doesn't matter how much. Yeah, doesn't matter how much weights you lift or how big
No,
you get.
it's like calves. I used to go into the.
Yeah.
I was never a gym guy, but I've always been. I used to run a lot, and
Mhm.
I've got gigantic calves. And all the muscle guys would be like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Creatine? What are you stacking D-ball? What are you doing over there?" I'm like, I didn't do anything. That's just what
Yeah,
you get.
it's
You get what you
genetics,
get.
man.
It's very
It is
hard.
what it
Those you
is.
always see these muscle guys with the little chicken legs.
Yeah. But those guys getting
if you have a
calf-
dramatic loss of weight, if you're very, very puffed up and you have a dramatic loss of weight somehow, then sure, it'll affect everything else first. The wrist
Yeah.
will be the last. You'll get a bit more bony, but it's not really going to change the size of the bones or obviously. So yeah, you're in and around there. You either find the right watch or not. Emmett just he jumped over a million hurdles and went to the perfect watch. I don't think he'll ever have a more perfect watch. Maybe a Palm. Maybe a Palm.
Maybe.
Yeah. A nice
see.
Palm with the 1940 lugs.
I think he could pull off a Speedy too. I mean, obviously, never met
I
him.
Definitely
but
could.
have photos of him with this watch on, and
It doesn't
looks good.
work.
No, it looks good. It
looks
good.
good,
Let me see
yeah.
if I can find them.
Speedies don't look bad on most people.
Yeah, that's true. Speedies are.
They just don't. Travis, you got a big ass wrist. We all know with you. He's got a collection that is extremely delicious. And Ray Ray was €5. Feckin'. And I
Travis.
also a Big Bang Boom. So I'll do the both of you right now. Hold on. Ready? Hold on. For the both of you. Sorry, fellas.
Yeah,
when did you guys come over that time? It was 2021, right?
Last time we were over there, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2021. God.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Fuck. The years are just disappearing.
Yeah,
man.
it's like I'm close to dead now. But at least at the end of the summer, we'll be over there for we'll be over there for probably three.
How is New York now? Are you guys protesting? Is there protests in New York? Or is
protest?
It
what is that going to do for anybody?
Is it overblown or is it?
Unless every single person goes out on the street and just swallows up every government building, nothing will ever get done.
Happen.
Nothing's going to happen. The days of revolution are over. People are pussies. And you know what? Or they just don't care like me. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
That's for most people.
True.
I don't care. Because what's it gonna do? I'm never gonna stop him from doing this or her from doing that or BB from just being the world's aggressor. What are you gonna do? People just do what they want. You know what? I want to get out of here. I want to sit in the piazza. I want to drink spritzes and stare at beautiful people.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
When are you moving? Are you for sure gonna?
Well, eventually, yes. I
That's
mean,
the plan.
We're going to do a 50-50 for a little while, but
you said Paul has got Italian citizenship, right? Or he
doesn't have the citizenship, but he's like it's doable.
He could get it.
I have it. He does. I have EU.
That's Irish, right, because you have Irish. You have dual.
Paul is got to because they keep goofing around with the. It's funny. Asheen sent me a clip from this guy, Rafael de Furia, and that guy. We watch that guy all the time because all these expats are panicking right now because they changed it because too many people are coming in and saying I want to live in Italy, but his family are all in this little town, and you just have to go to the local. Comune and you can pretty much get it done if you have some people to vouch for you.
I was actually looking into getting German citizenship because my grandparents are German. But I looked it up and it actually you have to have it's your parents and that's it. So it can't be beyond your parents.
Really? Just
basically.
Parents?
Yeah. It was
Germany,
I thought it would go back 2 generations, but from what I found, I might have to do a little bit more digging. But because my grandparents on my father's side were Germans, but they got to getting while the getting was good.
Did you guys have to get the hell out of Dodge?
Well, yeah, so my father's dad was living and working in Germany in the 1900s, and when Hitler came to power. He was like, "Uh-oh, time to head to the Soviet Union where it's safer."
Oh yeah.
But little did he know, it probably wasn't much better. But
I'll be back in a second.
They got out in the 30s. But
I was the early 30s.
Like
before
30,
the
31.
rise of the Third Reich.
Yeah, 30, 31, I think is
when he was moved. Just a sparkling newcomer.
yeah.
You're like, hey, this Austrian guy's got some great ideas. Gonna take us out of our doldrums.
Yeah, this Stalin guy seems better. A nicer mustache. I think
Stalin.
We'll go here. Yeah, we'll go to this other side. I think if they knew what was coming, they probably would have just packed up and went to the States. But
that's code. Stalin is code for Hillary Clinton, right?
No, the real Stalin. The real Stalin. Yeah.
That's for the crowd. Barack Obama, Stalin.
Yes, Barack Obama. The old memes with Barack Obama and the Hitler mustache because God forbid he wanted to give everybody health care. You know, what a fascist, right? Give everybody free health care. Socialist.
Evan says, I'm afraid of breaking the speed. He gives off frauds. You know, listen, what's going to happen with Speedy is you're going to scratch the Heslite. That's just going to happen. And what are you going to do? You just, you just buff it out. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, the fact that you can't even really wash your hands with it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A Palm. It's one of the 3 days, 47 mil palms on him. It'd be like the palm on me. It was the same fucking wrist, essentially.
I tried on the 10-day James M's, and man, did that thing look sick. I was like, oh my God, I can wear a Panerai. It was lust.
You're having a lot of revelations because you had that big offshore on in New York when I was there.
It wasn't
and you were like, I like it. I fucking like it.
Yeah, I love that. But that's your real one. That's the 861.
The Panerai that I really liked, I tried it on in San Francisco, is the one with the rubber band. I don't want to say
Oh,
bracelet because it's the
The
rubber,
Panerai rubber
but it's
second
that
only to
blue.
Rolex.
Yeah, it's that blue one. It had like a blue. I don't think it's a GMT. It's a submersible, but it's man, that thing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk,
Oh.
Oh man,
He's giving love.
Dirk's really figuring out the the emojis. Look at that. There you go.
This is my favorite one. BB. And then there's the discotheque.
Oh man, you got it. You got it figured out.
There's tons more. I don't know them.
There's one with the
Hold up,
balloons.
boys.
That's the weird one.
The balloons.
How do you get
this one?
Oh, that's the balloons.
No, that's the fireworks. The balloons are.
It's just one. It's one thumbs up, right?
No. I mean, I've got regular balloons on the thing for when people have birthdays and shit like that. But what is the balloon one? The gesture for balloon. Is it this?
I thought it was just the thumbs up.
No, because the thumbs up gives you the thumbs up, which is great. Oh, 2 thumbs up. I bet.
Oh, that's the.
No, that's that thing.
Interesting.
There's a nice big pan, big 40.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
That's a great watch, man. That's just simple.
Look at that fucker.
And you could wear that with a suit too. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a hunk of steel too, though.
Oh yeah.
I love beautiful though, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that. I honestly, man, I think that's your watch. Like, it's got the Italian heritage. You live in Italy. Like, it's a big watch. It suits you well. But that
monster.
47. Yeah.
Oh, that's
you know
a 47. I mean?
Yeah.
47, big monster. Yeah.
Looks good on you.
Ah, fuck.
How's that Cartier?
Substantial.
How's the Cartier? It's magnificent.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
Yeah.
That's your first one, right? First Cartier that you've owned?
Yeah.
That's a great watch.
Meanwhile, you've bought a bunch of them. Like Lydia's got a couple, right?
She's got one.
Oh, she got one.
Are you looking to downsize? Are you looking to downsize at all, or are you just gonna?
No, you were trying to convince me of that.
I was trying, man.
You were probably looking and going, "Oh God,
3
he's
to
not
5.
getting any better."
When
His
I saw
addiction
you bought a
is
Cartier,
getting
I'm
worse.
like, "God, Jesus, he's back off the wagon."
Yeah, exactly.
He went back on the wagon.
And it says, I can't allow myself to slip into collecting. If I were to acquire a Panerai, I'd be off to the races. Yeah, this is the conundrum.
Yeah,
Rolex perfected the wristwatch with the Submariner. I'm all set. I'll keep to collecting guitars. Yeah, that's your job.
Yeah,
it's more affordable. Believe it or not, it's actually easier.
It depends. Not in his game though.
Yeah, well,
because he's a Les Paul guy, and those are
millions
of dollars.
$4,000 or $5,000.
Oh, for a new one, but a vintage one, forget.
But even a Fender's not cheap.
Fenders can be had, though. You know.
Yeah,
they're just it's Rolex versus maybe Patek. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Have you ever wanted a Patek Philippe? I've never wanted one.
A Calatrava I'd like, but. I don't know if it's going to sit very well on me.
They don't really. I don't know. They don't speak to me.
Me neither.
They're very. I feel like I'd need to be a lot more wealthy to have a Patek. It just doesn't suit my lifestyle. It doesn't suit my image. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't. To me, Patek is like a guy that lives in like Beverly Hills or. It's like some kind of real estate developer, an attorney. Yeah, the guy that
he lives at the Breakers.
Yeah, instead of saying, what are you doing this summer? He says something like, "Where do you summer?"
Where do you summer as a verb? It's a verb. Yeah, we always summer in the Breakers. That's where Biffy loves to go.
Yeah. We summer in the Hamptons. It's like that. That's not my vibe. I think if I was to move to the Holy Trinity, it would be VC.
Of course, us too.
Yeah,
well, he's got AP.
Well, he's into the AP world, but
but
that's more.
He would love a VC though.
AP is me, man.
Yeah, AP is probably more Oisin because I think they speak more to like the artist, you know,
I don't know. I
non-conform,
think he wouldn't mind having offshore,
non-conformist.
overseas. I mean, I think you'd like one of those.
Yeah.
A green one. That
I
knocked
mean,
me off by
aesthetically
itself.
speaking, only that VC, the gold one, the new one that they just released
Yeah.
last year, the gold.
Oh yeah.
Oh
We
my
we all love
God,
that.
with that green
Everyone
dial.
knows that.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, yeah, that thing is
Everyone
phenomenal.
knows that watch. Yeah. For sure.
Sharon, hello, beautiful girl. Big hearts to you, my love. $6.99 Canadian. One of the starring ladies of the show. Come on. There you go. Thank you, darling. And Ray here. Owie, lads. Thanks, buddy. I'm gonna give you Gong Woman 3 because I think that suits you best. Thank you, honey pie.
Yeah.
Bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Sure.
We're here.
So I'm going to do an unboxing, guys. Well, kind of. I'm not taking it out of the box, but I'm going to show you guys the Seiko that finally arrived and a few photos of it up close. We'll do that once Dirk gets back. Actually, as great as the watch is, I think it's a 40 mil or a 41, and it's not. I think the 43s look better on me, the Seikos, but it's still gorgeous, still beautiful. And it looks like I'm getting a free one if that other one eventually gets released from customs. I'll have another one, so I'll do a giveaway on the channel. Who's in the audience? Seiko Land Tortoise SRP J33. Yeah, it's a classic. Beautiful. Decent size. I think it's 43. It's not so bad to buy yourself a Seiko every now and then for, between 500 and 1200. It's not so bad. Hypersonics hitting Tel Aviv on the first ever F-35 shot down over Iran. So they got an F-35. True almost threes off. Oh my God.
Come on, panel. Let's keep it light.
Oh man, it's rough. It's rough. It's hard to ignore the world falling apart. But let's
World War
pretend.
III breaking out. Ugh. I just want to talk about blondes in red dresses.
Did you at least have a martini to pour yourself when you got in the door?
Dude. Yeah.
Or are you going to go on a downer now?
I'm on a downer now. I might actually grab a coffee because my poor wife, she's like, "Are you going to have a couple of drinks?" I'm like, "A couple." You've been watching the news? A couple. So we went out to dinner, and I was gonna tell Dirk I did the thing he always recommends to pick up the tab because it was about 6 or 8. It was family only, so it wasn't anything crazy. It was a couple $100, but my wife's father hates when I do that because he always tries to pick up the check. So I always sneak it in before he gets a chance to do it, and he's in his 80s, so he's not as quick as he used to be. And I do it every time. So no, it was good. It was a good time. But yeah, I had a couple drinks, but I'm coming down now. So
good man.
That's a bummer, man. I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate to come down. I just keep drinking until I pass out. Then
I know, but I don't really keep booze in the house. That's the thing. We've really cut back on booze in the house. My wife doesn't drink. I mean, she'll have a couple of drinks at dinner once in a while, but short of that, we're trying to maintain, trying to look like Brad Pitt in our 60s.
Here.
Possible.
Ray, €2. Lads ain't up to my shit. What, your Seiko? Nobody is. Well, actually, who has the biggest collection of Seikos? I think it might be Andy M. I think he's got quite a lot, like in the high teens. He's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, you can get crazy on Seikos.
Yeah, because you can get a bunch of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will you all look better than Brad Pitt? I don't think so.
That's very sweet of you to say.
Very nice.
Maybe John does. You'll never know.
I'll never know.
John, pixelated face. I'll turn my camera on at the end when it's just the three of us.
Okay, so here it is, finally, this bloody thing. And I'll pull up some photos on Instagram to make it easy. Here's the Seiko. Let me give that a zoom in. and a full screen. Let's see if it works. Oh my god. What on earth?
Carlos Paggi has 150 Seikos, mostly vintage. Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Look at that thing.
Hey.
Nice, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Is that carbon fiber or is that stainless steel? The
Steel.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that black matte, like carbon fiber look.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's nice, right? Let me share up the you can on full screen me if you like. Maestro. Let me find the Instagram of the new photos that I just posted in the middle of my live, so you guys get a better idea.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love those straps too. How is that comfortable on the wrist?
Yeah, well, yeah, it needs to be broken in.
It's got to broken in,
yeah. Yeah, it's stiff.
I have a fabric on my Seiko, and man, it is the most comfortable strap I've got. I have to say.
Yeah, look at that dial.
Love
that.
It's wild, isn't it? It's like concrete or something.
Yeah, it's like that shimmery, wet concrete look.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it could be a little bigger on me.
Is that a new release or is that been around?
It's an America only, USA only release because Seiko they play games. You know, there's European only, Japan only, USA only.
Is that got the rubber back on the? It does, right?
On the watch, no.
Yeah, on the strap.
On the strap, yes.
Yeah, mine's like that too. That's a great looking watch. Yeah. What size is that? 41.
I think it's a 41, and that's the only gripe because it's
that tile's amazing.
Yeah. I have other Seikos, as everyone knows, and they're larger in most cases, and they just cover more of my wrist, but I don't mind. I'll stick it on. But
yeah, this is the strap I have on my Seiko, which is amazing. It's so comfortable.
Yeah, that looks like you've had that for a while.
No, I've only had it for a year.
Yeah, but it looks like it's got that bend to it. Is that a different fabric?
It's fabric
because I ordered one. Yeah, I ordered one and it's pure fabric. Oh, so you got the rubber back.
Yeah, it's rubber on the back. It's so comfortable.
It gives the comfort level is different. Because I have one that I ordered. It's a secondary aftermarket. The guy's in Germany. It's called Diabolic Straps, and he has these canvas ones or leather ones, but they're so stiff, man. You got to wear that thing. It's like a brand new pair of like really heavy leather shoes, like combat boots almost, and you just gotta suck it up and just wear it for a couple weeks. But once it breaks in, they're fantastic, but it takes at least a couple weeks to break it in. You gotta like wear it daily, but eventually you forget you're gonna have it on because it is lighter. It's lighter than the bracelet, obviously, but I have a leather one, and then I had one surprisingly when I had the Pepsi, the leather one looked great on the Pepsi. A brown leather strap on a Pepsi. I didn't think it would look that great because it fit the sub and the Pepsi, the old subs.
For the viewers who don't know, John famously had the watch everybody wants and
sold it.
Got rid of it.
Yeah, I still miss it sometimes. When I see it in my reels, I'm like, oh no.
I love the fact that you just said, not for me.
Yeah, it didn't work, man. There's so much to that, like what Oisin said about like your skin tone and all that stuff kind of matching, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I know people are probably like, and I got it from the AD after 8 months, so it was a great get, but I just didn't do it. I can't do it.
I mean, when you wait so long and you lust after something and you finally get it, sometimes, it's just, you realize, wow, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it happens. That's all part of the watch journey.
Yeah. Carlos thinks it looks great on you.
Be a nice summer watch. Good for the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Get it out, get it wet.
Right. And who cares? Won't matter.
Who
cares? I don't care. You care. I don't care. Who cares? I don't care. That's the thing. Like with the Speedmaster, you can't do any of that shit.
Otherwise, a good summer watch is my own, Frollo.
Yeah.
With the Tiffany, excuse me, Tiffany dial. Be nice, bright watch and invincible, ready for beating. Boom, and that's much more my size, you know.
Yeah,
that's 43, right?
43, yeah.
Yeah, that's got the presence on it.
Mm-hmm. OceanOmaliChannel.com if anybody wants one. So what else, fellas? Flight one, what was it? 171 Air India. Do we want to get depressing? No. I actually spoke to my pilot
about it.
One guy survived. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
One guy walked away from it.
He walked out of it. Fucking crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's gonna be fucked in the head for the next.
And they were trying to figure out like how, because they knew what seat he was in, and they were trying to figure out like
11A.
how the plane kind of comes apart, because they always say the safest spot is in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because obviously planes tend to crash nose down. But I think because they think that this was an aerodynamic stall, which is it crashes tail first.
Yeah, it came down on its belly because he had he was trying to climb, and he was putting the pedal to the metal and trying to climb, but he didn't have the flaps. So there are lots of theories, and the one I think is probably true, although I'm no.
I know which one you're going to say it is.
That instead of lifting the gear, he lifted the flaps because the gear was down. The gear shouldn't have been down.
You think it's pilot error then?
Co-pilot,
because everyone's
blaming
the right seat. I mean, everybody likes to blame Boeing right away because Boeing doesn't have the best record, so they're saying it's a malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
But
that plane's never crashed a 787.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
perfect
think,
safety record until just now.
Yeah, they're saying that it was probably
pilot said error. Gear up, and he probably hit the right. They're right next to each other. I don't know how. And then the second you do that, all the alarms should go off.
Gear up is that little wheel thing that you pull up on the front panel. Mm-hmm. Flaps are down by the throttle.
Yeah,
that's the only
weird
weak part of that theory. I mean, you really have to be not paying attention.
And now this is obviously I'm a novice, but when they take off, don't they have the flaps already set as they're taking off?
They're supposed to.
That's the configuration.
Yeah.
But so if he put those up, no, it does make sense. Because first of all, the plane won't take off if the config is wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
Especially not a 787. It's too new. There's going to be sirens and noise all over the place going. You've got the wrong config. You can't rotate. So they rotated. They climbed, and with the flaps at 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever they were set at, right? And then, of course, there's the front flaps as well on both sides of those wings. And instead of pulling the gear up, which of course gear creates extra drag, that's as heavy as the plane is going to be on the entire flight. It's full of fuel, full of people, and all of that. And they need to really push that bird up together and create lift under the wings.
Yeah.
If instead he lifted those flaps and they lost their lift, they still had the propulsion, but they lost their lift.
Yeah.
And then the gear was adding extra drag. Boom.
Yeah. And I think in that moment too, like there's probably presets that they're worried about, and then there's things that they just can't figure out, and like we've all had that moment where you're like in a car and something's going off and you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, oh, my seatbelt. It's like the most common thing in the moment. After the fact, you realize what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But or you put it in drive, and you're trying to go in reverse, and you put it in drive, and you go forward, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with my car? And they're like, oh, I'm not in reverse. But I think that might have been like overwhelming to them in the moment, and there's so little time, to make that, because you figure if they have a malfunction at 35,000 feet, they have so much time for
to recover. If they were at 2,500 feet, they would have recovered. If they were at 1,500 feet, they would have had a good chance of recovering. They were at 600 feet.
Yeah, there's no that decision,
or not even.
Yeah, and even the slight hesitation in that moment, even if you figure it out, and it's 2 seconds too late that you figured it out, and now you're just, now you're just coming down. So
Well, when they listen to the cockpit recording, the very last words might be, "Did you lift the gear or did you lift the flaps?" You know.
Yeah, yeah. So they might have noticed it, but they also, I guess, weren't sure who was flying. Was it the number 2 flight officer or the pilot? Because sometimes they change that up. You know, like you take off, and you know, pilot flying, pilot monitoring, or whatever.
You take off, I'll land, all that. Yeah, they do that. Yeah. You know, sometimes the first officer's in training to get the left chair, so he's there with a certified training pilot, and that's part of the whole trip. So who knows? We're gonna find out. Both boxes have been recovered at this point. So
yeah, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. That's one blessing, is that at least they can figure out soon. It didn't fall in the sea, and they don't have to get divers to go look for it and all of that, you know. But do we know about casualties on the ground? I mean, I heard all about the souls on the plane.
I think they said 50 on the ground because it crashed into a hostel. Yeah, it crashed into a hostel, and they actually had footage from inside the hostel.
I saw that people were having lunch.
Yeah, they were filming, you know, the aftermath. Yeah, I think there was at least 50 casualties on the ground.
Can we talk about how quickly they put that fire out? I mean, my God, that was a giant fireball.
And it's jet fuel.
Then all of a sudden, loaded with jet fuel. And then an hour or so later, they're filming around and there's not even smoke and smoldering. There's the tail sticking out of a building. And it's unbelievable how they were able to quench those flames. Wow.
But yet on September 11th, I'm just kidding.
It melted in the
world. And then they find Mohammed Atta's passport in perfect condition.
Yeah, they found the passports, and somehow the seal melted. Right,
Barack Obama.
What are we doing?
And the dancing Israelis over in Jersey City. Oh my God.
And all those people that bought out of the stock market, right? That's saying, I don't know, guys.
Silverstein adding the extra insurance a month earlier.
Oh man, people are putting on their tinfoil hats right now as we speak. If you hear crinkling, that's the noise.
Crinkling.
You hear the crinkling, it's the tinfoil hats. Oh man.
Oh, Sharon says that the Canadian female dentist lived close by to her. I'm so sorry, honey.
You know, there was a girl who missed the flight.
Yes.
She was 10 minutes late. She was stuck in traffic and she missed the flight. And when the news came in immediately, because they just took off and then it happened. And it was so she started shaking. Like the whole shock of like, oh my God, I was about to get on. And the whole realization, turns out when that really happens to you, you don't jump in the air with glee. You shake. You have a smack of reality, you know?
Yeah. I actually knew a guy that his dad was supposed to fly out of Boston on 9/11. And he got into a fender bender on the way to the airport. And he missed the flight.
Thank God for that. Wasn't Mark Wahlberg supposed to be on that flight also?
Really?
Yeah, he was booked on that flight.
Oh, because it was a Boston to LA flight, right?
Yeah.
That was the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's dad was like some kind of business finance guy, and he was flying Boston, LA, and he got into a fender bender on the way to the airport. So he didn't get on. He missed
and guys, James Woods was on a flight a few weeks earlier, and he saw a suspicious looking A-Rad. And he reported it to the FBI.
What a hero!
What a hero!
How brave and stunning!
Is he dead?
No, he's not dead. But he thought his house burned down. It was like the only silver lining to the LA fires, and it didn't happen. Actually, his house did not actually burn down, even though he was in tears on CNN, and nobody cared because a week earlier he was saying they should just nuke Gaza, and people are like, "Oh my God, he's a dickhead." But now I have to do my James Woods in Casino. Can you film me? Can you feel me in your heart? Can you feel me in you?
I always forget that he's Les the pimp.
Lester Diamond.
You fucking pimp. Take mine too. Because you're a fucking pimp.
Take mine too.
You're a fucking pimp. I always forget that that's James Woods.
I'm
That's
sending this
James
kid
Woods.
back to Bolivia. What is it? I'm sending this kid to Bolivia in a fucking box. Remember that line? It's like bizarre. It's random. Yeah.
It's great makeup too. It's
Feel
almost
me.
like Sean Penn in Carlito's Way.
Can you feel me in
Holy,
your heart?
amazing.
Feel me in you.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You know you know she's my wife, right? She told you that, right? That we're married now. That diner scene. God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Man.
years ago, when TWA Flight 800 broke up over Long Island,
Look.
use your conspiracy theories on that
yeah.
one. I think we really know what happened there. Paul used to work for TWA, and his old friend worked there as a female. He was very close to his friends to this day. They share a birthday. She was working the white coating the flight. So basically, she was doing guest relations, getting everybody on board. They'd close the doors, close the flight, and this woman came screaming down the to the jetway. I've got to get on that flight. She's like, I'm so sorry, this flight is closed. You can't get on there. And she was from France, and she was saying, these are not my words, people. She was like, this French bitch would not stop. She was relentless. I have to get on the flight. Blah, blah, blah. You're all idiots. Idiots, 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 idiots. So she gets on the horn to the captain. I have this woman here. She's unruly. She wants to get on this flight. She's in first class. What am I supposed to do? He goes, let her on the plane. So she got on the plane. And of course, everybody on that flight died. And she, not that she cared so much about that French bitch, but she said, I was responsible for at least saving that one, even though she was a terrible person, save her life, regardless of everybody else that she put on that flight. She had to leave her job because she was so emotionally ill-equipped to handle putting, because she remembers every single person, their passports and their tickets and special meals and all the things that had to happen.
Yeah.
And that was the end, pretty much, of the beginning of the end for such a great airline, international airline.
TWA was a good one.
It's a great airline. And it's a footnote because people don't know, because flying is not a thing for, it's just, how can I get the cheapest ticket or use my points? There used to be a, it was an experience. If you see those, they didn't have like, they went out of business in 2000. So they had like 747 100s and 200s. They had old planes, but a beautiful, table service with carts of caviar. And it was like flying romantically like it used to be. And they never gave up on that aesthetic, and they tried to keep old world flying.
Well, that's the irony, is that cheaper made it worse.
Deregulation.
Because they wanted to be cost effective, so it just got more and more people flying, and it
that was Jimmy Carter's fault, unfortunately, and Ronald Reagan put the nail in the coffin with deregulation. Dirk, I emailed you her pic. Oh, honey, let me pull that up right now. Oh, it's gonna make me. You know what made me? I actually physically broke down crying today because I was looking who were the people, and there was this picture of this family, and I think that they were originally from Syria. And it was a beautiful woman, husband, and their beautiful little girl. And they were on that flight. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, there were people sharing like last pictures and like family members. It's heartbreaking.
Listen, there is a small it's very small, but it's a small consolation. It was just after takeoff and it was very immediate. Yeah. It wasn't like they lost hydraulics at 36,000 feet.
It was a long fall. 25 minutes. That's true. That is some
show. God bless. I'm so sorry. Look at this beautiful woman. What a horrible way to be extinguished. And I mean, what plans does God have for this survivor? He must have some kind of major impact in this world. He has to have.
I mean, the fact that he was the only guy, like that is. Ugh.
The only one. I mean, you would think if one person survived, at least a handful more.
Super random. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, whatever town he's from, they might start worshiping him or something. But it's just ridiculous. It's just complete coincidence, You just never know how these things go.
Kieran says that Mark Wahlberg was just talking shite. I believe that. And Ray with €2. Feck it, YouTube won't let you do what?
Well, what's Ray? Is Ray complaining again?
What are you complaining about, Ray? Eddie says, "Let me be clear. I hate James Woods. Hate him. Evidently, Woods is huge down below and has 150 IQ. Yeah, apparently he's hung like a horse and smarter than the average bear. But
you know who the source of information is on that?
James Woods.
James Woods.
I've heard from various girls though that have betted him that that part is true.
James
and I'm like,
Woods
who cares?
James Woods strikes me as the kind of guy that comes up with his own nicknames. You know, people call me. It's like nobody calls you that.
Lyndon Baines Johnson had a nickname for his penis. Called it the Chief.
Oh yeah,
LBJ 150 IQ. You feel me in you.
That's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
That's a good less. It's a good less impression there.
Lester Diamond. I'm looking for this. There's a couple of fellas, maybe a gay couple. They appear to be.
My sister told me that.
They were, they were kind of vlogging before. They were at the airport and going, "Oh well, we're leaving India, and it was a wonderful adventure."
It was going back to London, right? That was the flight.
That's right.
Emmett says, the James Woods story metastasized in the right-wing media echo chamber into him boarding the flight on 9/11 and opting not to after having seen the hijackers.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he did nothing to dispel that rumor either because it gave him a hard on.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the most hideously ugliest men in the history of mandom. I mean, that is one ugly dude. Thank God for his giant penis.
Those are always funny stories after the fact because nobody else corroborates it. It's always the celebrity retelling that story. It's not like James Woods was on my flight and he almost prevented a hijacking, or like it's always
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, it's always the person who's the focal point of the story, retelling the story about their heroics, near heroics.
This is great. So he's smart enough to see the hijackers and bail, but not nice enough to tell anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Because he loves America, right?
Once upon
a time in America.
Yeah. No shit.
Hey, listen, he's a great actor. He's a great actor.
He's a terrific actor.
Sure.
Yeah. He is a great actor.
He was really good at Lester Diamond.
If you can divorce the politics from the art,
Is that true, AP? That's where they came up with the word Johnson? Is that right? The nickname? I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. LBJ apparently used to take a shit with the door open in the Oval Office.
And he'd take his dick out in the Oval Office just to intimidate other people.
That was his move.
The best joke is, there's always all these big dick Hollywood stories about like George Raft and Milton Berle, of course, very famously. Thank God, because he's hideously ugly too.
And apparently Arnold Palmer, according to Trump.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, you didn't hear that? Arnold Palmer. Trump was talking
compared to Donald, I'm sure.
I actually sent the video to Oisin. There's a gay guy lip syncing the story and retelling it with all the mannerisms.
Watch that right now.
Oh my God, dude! I sent that to you, Oisin, right?
Yeah,
yeah. It's like it said Donald Trump is secretly a gay man, and so it's the audio of Donald Trump talking, but a gay guy pantomiming the whole thing.
I have it.
It's fucking hilarious.
I have to be careful to protect your identity.
Oh, are you in it? No, we can't have that.
No, I'm not in it.
But pulling it up on.
It's probably got my real name.
No, we don't do that.
We do not do that stuff.
No. So the big joke was the story was that it was like Bogart and George Raft and Milton Berle and John, do you know who Forrest Tucker is?
I don't know.
There was a famous show in America called F Troop, but this was an actor who'd been around forever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was.
I've heard of F Troop.
Yeah, he was Sarge in F Troop. He's famous. He was a cowboy. He was in Mame, a lot of movies. But also, so he's at the bar, and they're all having like a big dick contest. Who's got the biggest dick in Hollywood? And somebody goes to Forrest Tucker. They're like, just take out enough to win.
Man. Yeah, that's the story about LBJ because there's one where he's arguing with somebody and he's like, this is what it's all about, and he whips his dick out.
I would imagine you'd want to talk to him.
Elon Musk, do you plan to speak to him on the phone anytime soon?
I haven't really thought about it, actually. I would imagine he wants to speak to me. I would think that. If I were him, I'd want to speak to me, and maybe he was already called. You'd have to ask him whether or not he's already called. But I'd have no problem with it. Well, I don't want to say that, but but I would imagine he'd want to talk to me.
Elon Musk, do you plan?
He's got a bunch of these. Like it's Trump audio, and he does that.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Now, is he talking about Arnold Palmer there?
So he has one where he's talking about Arnold Palmer, because there's a clip of Trump actually at a convention or something. For whatever reason, he starts going on about Arnold Palmer's dick size. Really? It's a really bizarre.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's a man's man, and I don't want to say it. No offense to the ladies, I love the ladies. And you're like, what the fuck is he going?
Jesus, you're pretty good at Trump right there.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good.
And then he goes into, because you're like, with Trump speaking, it's so extemporaneous. You have no idea. Like, he doesn't know the next thing he's going to say.
Yeah.
And so he just starts going on. And you're like,
buttermilk, shoe fly shoe.
Yeah.
And
you're like,
so true. He doesn't know the next thing he's going to say.
He's literally he's informed by the last thing he says. That's the next thing. It's just like he's playing Mad Libs with himself.
Mad Libs.
And so he just starts talking about. He's like, Arnold Palmer. He's on like a horse. Apparently, that's what I heard. Dude. Guys in the locker room, they look.
That's
at
what
this
I
guy.
heard.
And you're like, yeah, that's what you heard.
Oh, John, I found our little chat about Dina, my new obsession. I was showing.
Oh yeah, you got to stop doing this to me, man. I got enough to worry about in my life. This guy fucking 2 a.m. sending me. This is my latest interest, and then I go down the rabbit hole.
I sent, because I was showing Dirk actually the other night. She went from 20,000 followers to 1.3 million in about 2 weeks because the fellas are just going, what on earth is this?
Jesus,
that's just nonsense.
It's AI. That looks like AI.
It's just crazy.
It looks like AI.
I made because I looked at her profile and I said it said that she's Egyptian.
Yes,
and I made the joke that if I was around in the biblical times and this is what the women in Egypt look like, I would have been the one leftover Jew that was like, Moses, I'm all set. I'm just gonna stay here and keep building.
I'm gonna hang back.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Where are we going? Where? Palestine? No, I'm all set. I'll stay here and keep building for these fellas. I'm good.
I'm afraid of the waves. I'll stay over here.
I don't wanna. I'm good. I'm all set. I'll just hang out here.
Yeah, she's an epic hourglass, man. It's crazy. And this is all she does. She's like, we're going out to dinner tonight, so here's my outfit. Guys are just like, what on earth? I don't know where they come from.
That on her beautiful.
That's her fella. Do you like her fella, Dirk? What do you think?
I mean, he's all right. He looks like he's in good shape. He's tall, which is looks great.
He definitely lifts.
Yeah, he's working out. Yeah, he's good. Sure.
Why not? A square head, but yeah, it's all right.
He's a bucket head. Yeah, she's just a whole other planet. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Egyptian.
Yeah, Egyptian women.
Big blue eyes on her as well. It's like not even fucking funny.
I mean, I wonder if those guys, listen, I have to be suspicious. I'm not saying that they can't have blue eyes. Of course they can. But when I looked at a bunch of pictures, I think she might be wearing contact lenses. Just I think it's not that it makes a difference in the world. Like when you look like that, why wouldn't your beautiful, big, beautiful brown eyes if you have that? Who cares? I'm not. I don't have eye color prejudice. I think all black eyes are beautiful. Brown eyes are beautiful.
Sure. Listen,
I said black eyes, not black guys. Just so if you rewind it, black.
Well, and then we were talking like, I wonder if she's smart, and I'm like, she could be fully retarded. I wouldn't care.
You would after a minute. You get bored though. Yeah, you would.
Well, I mean, listen.
Joe LaFara goes, you like that guy?
I like that.
Joe, I owe you a big bag boom because I didn't give him one before. But you know what? Yeah, now you super earned that.
Yeah,
And I have to
Scotty.
admit, I've watched Anti-Mame a couple of times, and like he's John Hamming it through that whole movie. You're like, oh fuck, how come the censors didn't erase that? It's bad. Oh, look at her, Jesus Christ! Yeah, there's
Scotty,
something about her eyeballs that looks like
Scotty Love. Scotty Love is right. What eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
exactly,
are you talking-
exactly right. I mean,
Actually, I gotta say it's the eyes and the face that I mean the body is wonderful, magnificent, but there's so many of those. It's rare that you have this astonishing, perfect.
Yeah, the
beauty.
combo is pretty good.
yeah.
You know that
Jim
dress.
Patterson, sorry ladies for
Electric.
this language, but internet has proved that all you really need is big tits. They sell. They always
That's
did. Though.
so true. I mean,
So
that's
true.
it. You got 1 million followers overnight, and if you
Yeah,
want a
overnight.
career in, in OnlyFans, you can make
Talk
the
about
moolah.
female privilege right there.
Right.
Female privilege.
Guys can't get away with that.
No.
Doesn't matter how good looking you are. Women aren't.
Yeah,
paying
James
for
Brown
it.
was talking shit. It's not a man's world at all. It's a fucking
Well,
woman's
it
world.
was in that world. It's certainly not. It's not. None of those.
It's a woman's world, and men built it for them.
That's gonna get clipped.
Yeah. Men are the ocean and the waves, and the women are the surfers on the waves. They're surfing that wave, man. Especially today. If you're beautiful, that's it. Yeah.
Well, what was the old joke about the world forces men to develop a personality, and women are under no such constraint?
No. That's true.
If I was a pretty girl, god damn it, I would blood ... You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are more bombs coming down, guys. It's going on all night. Boom, 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 boom.
Air raids in central Israel.
Tel Aviv. A few of them slammed down hard. You could see the Iron Dome was intercepting a lot of them, but then a few of them get through and they slam down hard, and you're like, oh shit.
aren't the Israeli people sick of this though?
Well,
who wants to be looking over your shoulder every 5 minutes?
Well, Netanyahu's kind of their version of Trump. You know, there's
he's 10
not a
times
lot of
worse.
not a lot of people. I mean, I know he was elected.
He's a lot brighter than Donald.
Yeah, he's obviously, but in terms of his brashness and kind of how he approaches global politics, I don't think there's. I mean, it's hard to tell. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure in wartime, I think.
Oh, but you do.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't live there, and I do have family there, but they're not Netanyahu supporters. You know, they're kind of.
What would you say the percentage of people in Israel that have that fervor, the Trump fervor? What's the percentage of people that support him? I mean, his wife was convicted of misappropriating funds, and there's scandal, and they know that he's
82%. They do. Haaretz just did a
poll. Yeah.
82%.
Yeah, they say, but to me, it's also kind of like that number is skewed because I think it's kind of the George W. Bush effect. After 9/11, Bush had crazy support. Even though before, when the election was going on and, the whole recount in Florida and all that stuff, there was a lot of kind of opposition. But then 9/11 happened and everyone's like, well, we're at war. This is our president. And, same with Giuliani. Everybody was kind of like, all right, well, we're at war, so we're going to back this guy. So I think the October 7th kind of had a similar effect.
Possibly.
On the Israelis.
John lived there. He's actually Israeli, Russian Israeli.
Yeah, I lived outside of Haifa and in Haifa. My sister currently lives right outside of Tel Aviv. But Tel Aviv is Tel Aviv is a very cosmopolitan city.
Does she have a bunker? Or is she underneath?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the apartment buildings at this point have safe rooms and bunkers and all that shit. So I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to gauge. I think. I mean, I obviously can't speak for an entire country, but I think that there's probably it's probably just enough. I mean, I'll pontificate here because it's just the three of us talking. I think it's probably split up. I think there's some hardcore, people that support, Ben-Gvir and those, the religious weirdos on the right. I'm not a huge fan of Hasidic Jews for various reasons. But I think there's probably 20% that are probably very much, kill all the Arabs and wipe out Gaza and that kind of ideology.
I would say it's 60%, but okay.
I don't know if it's that high, but being conservative, I guess I would say it's probably about 20% of the population is probably somewhat aligned with that. And then there's probably about 60 to 80% that are, just trying to live their lives, and they're going to, it's like what you said, Dirk, like, what can you do? Are you going to run for office? Are you going to try to take over the government or the military? You're just trying to
Well,
go
in
to
America,
work
I don't see that as being possible because of the population. I think Israel, with the numbers that they have, and some considering that, maybe not in the last generation, but previous to that, they were all from the West. So I think that they could rise up and get rid of that. Because
I think
long?
the insidious part of it is, I think in Israel there's a button that America doesn't have. And people like Netanyahu are very good at pressing that button, which is when all else fails, they resort to, listen, this is an existential threat. This is because we're all Jews and they want to kill us.
It's victim.
But you don't have that in America, right? There's no central button in America. I mean, Bush kind of tried that with, they hate us for our freedoms. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, really? Is that why they hate us? Do they hate us
for our cheeseburgers?
Or do they hate us for our foreign policy? Nobody really bought that argument. But in Israel, that argument kind of works because you do have the regime in Tehran,
history.
And then the history, obviously. But then you also have people on TV saying, we want to wipe Israel off the map. So, if you're saying that in Tehran, they're going, well, shit,
By the way, if you're quoting the Ayatollah there, he actually said that the mistake of the Zionist project should be erased from the pages of time. That's a different thing, and it was then skewed up, including by Obama.
Yeah, something was lost in the translation. But I mean, the sentiment. I think that's what they're looking at. These people hate us, and
it's great for the Zionist playbook, though.
And again,
we're victims. Everybody hates us.
Yeah, it all works. It works. It's a vicious circle because.
But it also works because populations are all very similar around the world. I mean, you look at America, like what sticks, the bumper stickers, and that's how deep most people want to analyze any topic anyway. Yeah, no one's going to sit there and do a deep dive into the Middle East conflict and, what happened in 1948 and what happened against the British. I mean, that takes a lot of time and you actually have to care. So you have to devote time and energy to study it. And then you might come out on the other end with a different version of events. But if you condense it to, that simplistic point of view, it's like, well, the Jews are good and the Arabs are bad. All right, well, that makes sense to me. That's all I needed to hear.
I mean, the fuck, man. Don't you realize that? I don't understand how you can't put yourself back in history. What you're doing to these people is what was done to you. Yeah. How is that? How in the world?
It doesn't compute. But what was your earlier point, Dirk? Your earlier point was like, I think what you were trying to get at, if you'll allow me, was that, like, wouldn't you rather just move back to Brooklyn where everything's nice and safe and you can, live your life without a bunker under your fucking apartment?
Why would anybody want to go to a place where is a target for people who don't like you? Why would you want to put yourself in harm's way? And exacerbate the situation. I guess that's really what I'm getting at. Because now with Benjamin Netanyahu, it's so exacerbated to the point where, well, you think people didn't like you? They're really not going to like you now.
Well, Chris Hitchens put it eloquently many years ago on Charlie Rose when he said it was a terrible idea. Zionism was a terrible idea in the first place because it guaranteed a quarrel with the Arabs because it was over the thing they hold most dear, their land.
Yeah.
And also taking an intellectual, naturally academic people, let's face it, and putting them in the middle of the desert and telling them to be farmers is a fucking bizarre thing to do as well. So I feel your point right there. If I'm Jewish and I have a Jewish family, why live in a place that is apparently under threat? Now, listen, if you were to see the beaches of, of Haifa and different areas there
Yeah.
during this entire massacre the whole time. They're all having a great time anyway. And even now, these shots that CNN are showing of people going off to bunkers, they're all just holding their kids' hands and being led by troops. It's nothing like the Gaza situation. They're holding there's no kid at the end of the arm. They're just holding an arm because there's a complete disparity in scene. But I'd rather live in Sydney or here in Venice, beautiful Jewish ghetto here, or just live among other people, or anywhere,
really anywhere,
rather than put yourself in that situation where one, you're inflicting, all your joy in life is at the cost of other people for the past 78 years, and two, you're under threat. Like some guy might come to the bus stop and just blow himself up or whatever. Why do that?
I mean, it seems as if Israel puts a target on itself on purpose. War is great business for Israel. I don't understand. Like, there were the deals were on the table. So what do? Assassinate. I mean, it's incredible how it's never been able. And so many people have gone. Bill Clinton almost clinched that deal.
Yeah.
Came so damn close.
And it was Ben Gavir's gang that took out Yitzhak Rabin.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And
I mean, I don't have a good answer for that because I'm obviously living in the US, and I think it just depends of how deep you fall into the cult, because I think religion at the end of the day is just a different version of a cult and tribal mentality. And I think if you move to a country that is a religious ethno state, you either buy into it or you don't, right? Sure. So if you buy into it, it's wholesale. Like, you are buying everything about it, and once you kind of go down that rabbit hole, I think it's very difficult to. It's like getting somebody out of a cult. I mean, if you've ever had any experience with that, where somebody falls into religion really deeply, or they fall into, any kind of like groupthink or even substance abuse, and they hang out with people that are in that lifestyle and in that culture, it's very difficult to get them to recognize it for what it is and then extricate themselves out of it. So I think that that's kind of the same thing. And you see that with nationalism in the US, where people are just, hardcore American nationalists, or in Italy, hardcore fascists. And it's just, it's that mentality that, so now you couple that with an ethno state that also kind of cultivates that and preserves it and empowers you. And I actually think that oppression mentality plays into that. Hey, everybody hates us, so you have to stay and fight. You have to defend this project. Right. So, right. I mean, that's just my assessment. I don't get the allure of Israel. I mean, I've obviously lived there. I've been there. Sure, it's nice. I mean,
how many years were you there?
I was there for about 5 years as a kid and a teenager, and then I came to the US.
And you faced. I remember you telling me you faced a little bit of discrimination yourself because you were originally Russian.
Well, and that was going to get to my.
Really?
That was getting to my next point.
Even though you're Jewish.
Yeah, because they had this term. So there's, if you're born in Israel, you're called a Sabra, which is a native-born Israeli, right? Which is also ironic because you go far enough generations and you're like, bitch, you're Polish. Your grandpa came from Poland.
Yeah.
Like, you happen to have been born.
You know what you call people who are born in Israel? Palestinians.
Yeah, like that's the argument of like, I'm a Sabra. It's like, okay, Jankowitz, you're from fucking Krakow. Like, you're not. Your family came here in the 40s. You're not
via Crown Heights.
Yeah. So, but even there's weird discrimination against Ethiopian Jews. There was weird discrimination against. They called the immigrants. The Hebrew word is alim chadashim, which is like the new people. So there was a designator of like, oh, you're the immigrant class. And which was weird because you're like, wait, isn't the whole point of this country that we're all Jews and we're all the same, regardless of where we came from? Right? Yeah. And so, and then there was also that kind of, towards Arabs and Palestinians, there was that underlining. I probably would equate it to, contextually in modern terms, what probably it's still like in the South, where like there may not be, the Klan is not having parades and it's not open racism, but there's that undercurrent of racism, where everybody, like if you're a black person, you kind of know in Mississippi, you still need to kind of mind your P's and Q's depending on what context and where you are. Whereas if you live in, Detroit or New York or Chicago, it's a different conversation. So yeah, as much as they praise the homogeny of having a state centrally organized around the religion and the ethnicity, there's still classes within the country, and you still have that, well, are you a Sabra? Are you a native Israeli, or did you immigrate? And you're like, fuck you.
Are you? That reminds me of another people, the Aryans.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your mother's last name?
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, are we doing that?
Gertrude, Blackstein. Like,
so it's, I don't know, but I think that's just part of human nature, man. I think we can't really get away from it. And I remember Hitchens did say that it was the most inflammatory, place they could put a Jewish ethno state is in the Middle East. It was the worst. It was the worst idea. What was that thing I said the first time we all talked?
It worked out better.
Yeah, the most destructive force in the world is a British map maker.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, girls in red dresses.
Girls in red dresses, right?
I should go back to what's her name, Dima. Dima.
When it comes down to put a fucking dot that on the I, as I don't get all that involved in most of this stuff. I'm just a big opponent of nationalism on any level. And I just hate it, what it does to people, and the fervor that it creates, and the divide that it creates, and it makes just people hate people for being who they are.
Yeah, it's a kind of a religion. Like your parents fucked there, and all of a sudden now you're part of a religion. You're part of some creed, some cults.
Yeah,
you wave little flags and you sing songs just like you're at church. It's the same kind of thing. I think we should all be just looking at Dina Ashka.
Sorry, I kind of lost you guys.
Yeah,
for a minute. I don't know if there was a connection issue or
she walks up to the camera.
It was buffering.
I mean, I'd brush her hair, maybe.
There she gets up to there you go.
Did you see that? This is a weird take, but did you see that thing that somebody posted where? Remember the guy that shot the CEO of United Healthcare?
Luigi Mangione.
They did some AI. Yeah, Luigi Mangione, and they did this weird avatar where, because all these girls were gushing over how beautiful he was, and then somebody did a AI, and it was what would Luigi Mangione look like if he was a woman?
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like a cutaway, and the guy's like, "All right, ladies, I get it. All right, I get it."
Oh, is that right?
Like, it's the
look at that
dude.
That's like girls who pen pal with prisoners.
It looks like this. It kind of looks like her. Like it's got that facial structure.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Do you like him, Dirk?
Who? No.
You're not a Luigi. Yeah. You're not a Luigi Mangione fan.
No, he's still a murderer.
Well, let's take that.
I totally disagree with. Oh, physically, not my thing at all. I get the beauty. That out of the equation. I get the beauty of it. Yeah, he's a very attractive man, and I see why girls go for that kind of guy. I get it, but no, I don't get it. No, I'm a John Hamm.
He's got a lot of fans.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
but these are the same kind of women. These are the 350-pound girls. Look at that. It's amazing, right? Yeah.
I was like, okay, I get it.
This guy has got a screw loose.
Her nostrils.
No reason to do that.
Her nostrils, they actually toned it down on the nose slightly. Yeah. They de-redded it and made it slightly more refined. But her nostrils are a little arched, but she is a pretty girl. She's pretty.
But you see and as soon as the guy did that, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
They're gonna love him in prison too.
He's apparently very popular in prison, and not.
Well, he stuck it to the man, and no one in jail, no one in prison likes the man. Oh, we really are buffering on your end. I don't think you're hearing us.
Really?
No, I'm hearing you guys. I don't know if I'm. Is it Dirk's or mine? I can't tell.
It better not be me with the with the effort we just put into my whole rig.
No, it's not. Hey, the internet can do.
It's probably
things.
Yesterday,
Ray, 20 euros.
20. You're 1,000. Ray, you are on fire right now.
Dirk lives in a heavy metal universe.
Ray coming in hard. 20.
Hey, I agree with Anthony. You know how I feel about that guy. A killer killed a killer. A guy Luigi killed one person. What's his face killed 10,000.
Yeah, he did it personally, though. You know.
Yeah.
Do you know how many videos of so many companies?
Yeah, and he did one, and that's the start. You got to start somewhere. I don't give a shit. We're in different places.
That world is different though, and actually, 50 Cent had a great interview because they were talking to him about coming from selling drugs and his old life before he became obviously a major superstar, and they were talking to him about the business end of it, and he said that he had this great line where he said, "In the hood, they had the courtesy of showing you the gun before they robbed you. In the corporate world, they do it with a smile and a pen."
Yeah.
Well, someone came forward from, what was the name of that healthcare company?
US Healthcare.
There it is. Someone did come forward and she said, she couldn't live with herself. She didn't know how many times she checked, no, denied. She said, 1,000. Oh, you have it.
Oh, you're a United Healthcare guy.
Yeah. Ever been denied?
No.
But you haven't had any, thank God, touch wood.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a copay. I'll tell you, like the other day, because I take, for those of you who don't know, I take care of my elderly neighbor, and she just went to the doctor, and she's got Medicare,
Yeah.
She has these eye drops. And it's through United Healthcare, through AARP. The copay was $162 for eye drops.
Terrible.
Jesus.
And I went, I said, didn't they shoot a guy on the street for that?
I got antibiotics that time. Remember my throat issue? I went and I got those antibiotics at the pharmacy. The guy he saw the situation I was in, and he was like, "Listen, I'll just give you these as a 3-pack." It was €6, and it fucking saved my life. I swear to God, I thought I was going to choke to death in the middle of the night. It was just before Michaela had almost the same thing. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was going around. People were getting this cold, and then their neck was getting. I couldn't even swallow a pill. A painkiller wouldn't even go down. I'd drink it, think it was swallowed, and 5 minutes later I'd cough and it would come back up in my hand. Perfect.
The Mossad.
It was stuck in my
the Mossad.
Earlier on a wasp came. We don't have wasps here. We don't have wasps in Venice.
Well, they do. They come from Connecticut, Boston, Maine.
Tel Aviv.
So a wasp came in. I was like, it's a Mossad drone. I swear to God.
Oh, there's no wasps. Hey,
there's no wasps in Venice. We never see a wasp.
I have a question for you, Venice related. This is very interesting because you're talking about bugs. So Scotty Love and I were talking today, and he was talking about the mosquito situation in Venice, and he was talking about because they're in an Airbnb, the guy gave him the plugins like you have that are miracle workers. But the question I have, and this is an interesting one, since mosquitoes only can thrive with fresh water, how do they do it in Venice? Why is there a mosquito situation in Venice when it's all salt water?
Very good. I don't think they're there. They're not in that water. I think they're in normal pockets of moisture that are on the land. I assume.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe some of the water washes into little crevices, and I don't know. I don't know the science of it. It's a great question. I mean,
I was just curious. I wanted to run that past you, but anyway, he got the plugins, which we don't have in the United States. So I said, go to Conad, go get a couple of bags of them, put them in your luggage, take them home, and sell them because everybody will want them. Because New York, we have terrible mosquitoes, but the worst mosquito situation I've ever lived through in my life. And no, I wasn't in Africa. It was in Milano, and we were being slaughtered by mosquitoes.
Listen, when I first moved to Venice, I realized the problem was worse than Vicenza. Vicenza has them, but not that bad. I moved here, and I realized very quickly, and they're aggressive and they're big.
Yeah.
And for the first few months that I didn't know what to do, it was a war. It was me in the middle of the night, naked on the bed, jumping around, running at these bastards. It was terrible. And then I went around to Andrea one day, and I was like, "Oh God, I didn't get any sleep. Fucking Zanzaro running around the house is terrible." And he goes, "You don't use the Vape?" I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "I use it all the time. It takes care of it." Immediately, I went straight to the Conad and picked up a bunch of them, plugged them in. And I haven't had a mosquito problem, and I've been here 5 years.
Yeah, it's
rare I get a bite. You know when I get a bite? If I go to Linea d'Ombra and I sit down to have dinner or something, or somewhere out at night and there's lights, candlelight. Sometimes they bring it.
Sitting on salt water. And there's wind. There's breeze.
Well, the wind takes care of. I mean, I guess they found a way to fight back. But right now, I wish there was a good, strong wind, but there isn't any. Yeah, but the fuckers, they come in and they leave. I burn those little roundy spiral things, the smoke,
citronella,
and I leave that in the air. It's kind of a weird smell, but it's fine. I feel like I'm out camping or something. You know,
that's like what it smells like. Camping.
Yeah,
you would think the Seiko keep them away too.
Yeah, there is no issue ever since then. It fucking changed my life.
Yeah, honestly. He just got those, and I said, "Oh yeah, Ush has them all the time." And he showed them to us because when we were there, he was like, "Oh, you got to get tons of these things." I said, and he brought us a bag for our Airbnb, and they worked.
I filled up your Airbnb, and
you filled them up.
They love my mother. They love that Irish blood, female Irish blood, and they eat her alive. My poor mother. All her children have scattered all around the world. When she goes to see her kids, she gets eaten alive by bugs, unfortunately. And it was bad in Aruba as well. Aruba has a big problem with those. And when she came here a few years ago with my aunts, I got them a beautiful, enormous.
Was that a few years ago?
It was a few years ago.
Oh my
I got them the most amazing apartments with a rooftop Altana thing where they could look out at the water and so on. And I knew that this could be, it wasn't quite season yet, but I knew there might be a few around. And I just picked up a bunch and I went through that apartment and I put them in every single room. And in the large rooms, I put like two, one over there. Yeah. And she wasn't bitten at all. So she left Venice going, "Oh, that was great," you know, with no bites at all because the bites really irritate her skin, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ray, what are you talking about? Super chat. No, I gave him the fucking giant Big Bang Boom.
Ray's back on the gargle, which is something I did not know.
Oh, is he?
He's back on the gargle, and he was texting me. He was super chatting me in my chat earlier, and he was 11 pints in. Then he was 16 pints
11 pints.
It was just getting... It's gotten hardcore.
Ray, I'm going to give you a kazoo because you deserve it. This is Jim. This is the funniest conversation that Paul and I have when sitting on the couch at night. He goes,
screens don't make a difference. I had screens in that flashy apartment before.
How could they not make a difference? They can't get in.
They find their way in. I had beautiful big screens. There were modern windows with these beautiful. You saw them, the gorgeous big.
Well, windows. It's a new thing in Italy because they never had them before.
And the screens didn't.
They did nothing.
They didn't do anything.
I talk about two things. One, air conditioning, because I can't live without it. I just cannot. I can't. I will. He'll sit there in a wife beater and just sweat like an old guinea that he is, and I'm just not having any of that. I want to live in an eternal ice box. So I said, I'm going to get those Mitsubishi fuckers and put them everywhere.
Scotty Love, they get in. I was thinking maybe they get in under the door. I don't know how they do it, but they see the light, they hear the sounds, and they get in. And all you need is two in your apartment at night to fuck up your night.
One.
Your whole night is fucked. Yeah.
You know what I was doing the other night?
The fucker comes up to your ear and you wake up. It's like, no, I don't need that. So now the vapes are all over the place. I'm probably gonna drop dead one of these days from breathing this shit in constantly. And I have the little Bernie things just to give them an early warning. and then I have a fan on myself in bed, and they can't operate when there's strong wind. They can't sit down on you and do their business while there's a strong wind. So they're not going to land where there's like a fan directed at you. But I've noticed sometimes, I remember last summer, and I had the windows closed for what it was a kind of, there was thunder or something, and crazy rain. So I closed the windows, and I found them on the window ledge trying to get out. They were dead on the edge of this thing, trying to get out of the apartment in their last desperate, it's like in my recent video, the Atawak video, everybody ran for the shore, all these huts on the coast where, the last remaining survivors just instinctively, just ran to the sea somehow in some desperate effort to just get away from whatever made them extinct.
The cast of the last White Lotus, which was where was that, in Southeast Asia somewhere, right? They were there for 7 months filming that series.
So they were eaten alive.
They were eaten alive, and they said it was the hottest, most humid experience of their lives. Obviously, they paid them well. They said, but the worst part was the mosquitoes are prehistorically large. They're like giant flying dinosaurs.
Would turn me off. I'm not interested in Malaysia. I'm not interested
in that part of the world at all. At all. Too many bugs. I'm not into the whole.
I'll go to Iceland where there are no mosquitoes.
I'm not into the ladyboy thing, because that's what a big part of that attraction is over there. Is a lot of guys, single men, there for the ladyboy action.
Right.
It's very, very big business.
That and the low cost of living, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm sure it's physically one of the most beautiful places you'll ever see in your life. Remember when they had the big tsunami? You saw that Paradise Beach that they had there. Now, meanwhile, I just went to Mexico for M's birthday, right? And not a mosquito in sight. It's on a stretch of beach right on it's technically not on the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. It's on the Gulf of it's on the Gulf of Mexico. It's because it's on the Yucatan, so it's really more Caribbean or Caribbean, depending on what you call it. And there was such a breeze, I did not see, and we kept the air conditioning blasting, but big sliding glass windows overlooking the beach. We kept it open all night long so you could hear the crashing waves. It was really fantastic.
Wow.
You need the breeze.
Right.
Because without that, you're fucked. Yeah, which is great because, it's like a A380 in a crosswind. Gotta go around.
They can't land.
They can't land. They can't deal with it.
They can't land. They can't stay stationary.
You stick a fan on yourself in bed,
Oh, yeah.
You need a fan across from the other side of the room, and it's enough to keep you a little cool and so on. And it just, they're not operating in that jet stream. They can't do it.
Yeah. Paul loves fans like the old guinea that he is. I'm like, all it's doing is blowing hot air all over you.
No. I remember in Aruba years ago, we were in this gorgeous little hotel room on the beach thing. And it had air conditioning. And the air conditioning was blasting, and sometimes it was fucking cold. I mean, Aruba's always hot. It was actually cold in the bed. We were actually kind of getting cold. Yeah. And I'd turn it off with the remote control, and within 60 seconds,
fuck that.
Forget it.
Because they had to fly above that cold air. Once I turned that off, they started coming down straight away. So I had to just leave it on.
If you go into my bedroom right now, Paul sleeps in the living room on the couch. He doesn't sleep in the front room. You know why? Because it's a meat locker.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't have any mosquitoes at all. It's a meat locker. I can't live. Joe LaFaro says they use DDT in Mexico, but his follow-up is even better. Better living through chemistry. Wasn't that DuPont's
that was
slogan?
DuPont. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was DuPont's slogan. Oh, that's great.
That's amazing. Pee break. We'll be right back.
Better living
Talk amongst yourselves about. Now you guys can talk about Lady in Red.
Why is pee break? He's not even drinking booze.
He's peeing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I'm
must
drinking
be a lot of coffee.
spritzers.
Oh, you're hydrated.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
I'm drinking
I didn't know.
spritzers because
I
I'm
didn't-
not buzzed. You know why? Because I had a 2 white wine lunch with my sister, so that like gave me the prime.
I see.
And yeah, so I didn't even catch a buzz off this. I'm drinking this Cantina Zaccanini. This shit, you know this stuff. You've seen that 1,000 times.
Oh, I have.
I fully came down off the vodka martinis now. Feeling good. Nice.
You know what? Here's the thing. This is part of your training. And then I'm going to ask when I get back, I want to see if either of you guys watched Black Bag. Did you watch Black Bag?
Black Bag? No.
Was that with Fassbender?
Fassbender and your wife.
And my future wife?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did watch it. I did watch it, but I didn't like it very much.
No, it sucked.
I usually like
movie.
Steven Soderbergh.
It wasn't a great movie, but there was a
not
great
good.
scene, and we'll talk about it in a minute because I'm
All
sure
right.
that John will know. It was about a girl that knew how to completely fuck around with the lie detector test that you were talking about earlier.
Oh, that's right.
She was clenching her
that does look
sphincter.
good. That doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
But
There's
I'll talk to you about why that doesn't work. I gotta look that up.
So here are the things that I've heard and read. Okay, so you can debunk these things, right, from a lie detector test, right?
Yes.
So when you're asked the questions that are supposed to come up positive, like, is your name Oisin O'Malley? Were you born in Dublin, Ireland? Yes. Blah blah blah. So they can establish a 0, okay, or a positive, right? During those questions, you dig your nails into your hands, or you sit uncomfortably, or you get uncomfortable, or you clench your toes in your shoes, and you give yourself a little itch of pain, and you answer the questions honestly, so they get a false 0 on their meter. Is that bullshit?
That's all bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's 100% bullshit. So I will tell you, this is I won't get into the formats and all that stuff because it is kind of close hold. But that being said, there was a famous case of a Cuban woman named Ana Montes. I don't know if you've heard this story. Ana Montes was a analyst for DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, which is the counterpart to the CIA. So you have in the U.S. you have the CIA, which is the kind of the big gorilla in the room when it comes to intelligence, and then you have the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is kind of a military version of that. So she was an analyst on Cuba for the DIA, and she was actually working for the Cuban intelligence service. So she was a spy. She was a Cuban spy. And one of the things that her Russian and Cuban handlers were teaching her was to do what they call the anal sphincter squeeze, right? So while you're sitting there taking a polygraph, there's certain questions that you hear, what they call the control questions. Are the lights on? Is the door closed? Are you sitting down? Is today Wednesday?
The control questions.
The control questions, yeah. And so what she was doing is she would squeeze her butt on those questions. And then when they ask you the other questions, which would be like, have you been involved in espionage against the United States? Have you, do you have any unauthorized foreign contacts? The responses in turn were, similar. So she allegedly beat the polygraph, right? But since then, they actually have a seat sensor now in the chair. So it's a movement sensor. So any movement, besides normal breathing, basically registers. So if you go to squeeze your butt, it actually shows up as this huge spike in the movement. So you can tell that someone's moving around. And then obviously at that point,
if they implemented that measure, that means that
they did it after. Yeah, they did it after.
That means there's a certain truth to this sphincter.
Yeah, for sure, because it does cause a physiological response. Your heart rate goes up a little bit, your sweat activity increases a little bit. So it does have a correlating response, which is why they put the movement sensors in to kind of keep people from doing that. But the only reason they figured that out, because this happened in the 80s, I believe, and before that they didn't have the seat pad because nobody had thought of it, I guess. And she had, figured that, I guess the Russians figured this out. and so they coached her on how to do that. And the same thing with the guy Aldrich James, the guy that was spying for the Russians. He was working for the CIA. He allegedly beat the polygraph, but he actually beat the examiner. There's actually not a documentary, but it's like a 5 or 6 part miniseries that they released about this. And he started kind of building rapport with the examiner, because they both went to University of Chicago, and he saw his ring. And so he started bullshitting with him about that. And the guy kind of liked him. So when he was having reactions to these questions about foreign relationships, he said, well, hey, look, I'm a spy. I work for the CIA. I meet with foreigners all the time. That's why I'm sensitive to this question. And the examiner bought it. He was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, which obviously turned out to be not the case. So there's a lot of you're beating the examiner more than you're beating the actual polygraph, so to speak.
I want to ask the audience, how many watching clenched their sphincter in the past?
Everyone did.
Everyone's done it. Everyone's done it. I'm doing it right now.
Just to see why that's a thing. Yeah. Michaela is asking about a fake off YouTube.
Okay.
Michaela's
What's
asking
going
about
on?
Impossible. I heard that it's not as good as
I think Tom Cruise is just trying to kill himself on film at this point with all this stuff.
Right. At this point in the game. Is it out in theaters already? Is it out?
I guess it's not doing as well.
Is it not?
Apparently it's very long, and there aren't too many new elements at all, and the whole story, it's weak on story and strong on action, which I always
DG is asking if are they making a Sicario 3? DG said waiting for Sicario 3 to come out.
Wow. Okay, so let me tell you about Sicario. So
I didn't know they're making one.
Denis Villeneuve, the first one, amazing, one of the best ones I've ever seen. Like definitely in my top 30 films, 40 films, right? Amazing film. Sicario 2, not so great, but still very interesting. Not as good, but not Denis Villeneuve. And I mean, if they're going to start doing a John Wick Part 17 vibe on it, they're going to flog a dead horse.
I did hear that Denise is coming back to make the third one.
Oh, well then, that'd probably be great.
That's what I heard. If
he's a great filmmaker. That film Arrival, that fucking broke me in two. That film,
dude, that was a great. I was trying to get my wife to watch that movie. That's a fantastic. Every time if I fly and I see that, I'm like, all right, well, I'm watching that again.
Oh,
yeah, I've definitely seen that film. I'm clenching right now.
Yeah,
I'm clenching right now.
Have you seen Sicario still, or you still haven't seen it?
Have you seen Sicario, Dirk?
I think Dirk still hasn't seen it, right?
Which one?
Sicario, the first one.
I've not seen it, no.
Oh, dude.
You should see that film.
I know every time it comes up, I go, I should watch that. And
it's so good.
I still have that list to move. I've been checking
and this is the thing, like if you're smart enough to, which obviously both of you are very intelligent enough to understand the deeper meaning of that film. And even if you look at the characters, and this is actually, somebody broke this down, so I'm not going to take credit for this, but the optics and the cinematography, so the female FBI agent is always portrayed in bright light, right? And then Matt Graver, the CIA guy, is kind of always in grays and kind of portrayed in a slightly darker light. And then Benicio del Toro's character is always in dark. And it's supposed to illustrate that sliding scale of, moral kind of gray morality, and then the dark, like fight fire with fire type of morality.
Dude, the scene it's at the border when they're taking that fucker back across the border, and they get stuck in traffic. That scene. I have to say something about Benicio del Toro. I love him. I think he's fucking cool, right? And a lot of people say he's actually really Brad Pitt, but he drinks like 3 bottles of tequila the night before, doesn't get any sleep, and then he's Benicio del Toro, and he dyes his hair a bit, but because he looks like an unhealthy Brad Pitt.
He always looks so tired.
He looks tired, worn out, but he has the same facial features as Brad Pitt. But the dude has this quiet, fucking cold, killer shit going on in every film I've seen him in. Then you see him in an interview. You see him on Jimmy Fallon, and he's nothing like
he's a
that.
bag.
Like,
Yeah, he's just a bag of joy.
Kind of a silly. He's a silly person. And
God.
you're just like, oh my God, this is ruining it for me. Just never do an interview ever, because we all want to believe that you're secretly this motherfucker.
Oh, that very scene at the end where he executes the guy's family. Finish your meal.
Stop. La 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 la. Don't give it away.
Finish your meal. Where did we learn? Who do you think we learned it from? I love that line.
You're giving it away a lot.
I'm sorry. Is it just quips? But yeah, you'll
watch it. I'll do my homework for your name.
It's not super long, and I mean, again, if you're into the cinematography and the soundtrack is phenomenal. I mean, it's Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of Hans Zimmer. It's a phenomenal film, man.
Who else is in that movie?
Michaela's still here. She's very passionate about this. I guess they went to see it in the movies last night or something. It was long.
They went to the movie.
Well, yeah, maybe Eric is like, come on, I got to see Mission Impossible. I like Mission Impossible or whatever. But
Mission Impossible 7 Fallout was the best one of this year. It was an incredible movie.
I just feel like they're turning it into Fast and
thought 3 was the one. The one where they're in Rome and they have to go into the Vatican.
The J.J. Abrams one is your favorite. Yeah, I agree. It's great. But, you know, the first one was
the best baddie I've ever seen.
Yes.
My God, he was such a good baddie.
Such a genius.
He's like, have you got a wife or a girlfriend?
It seems so organic because it's not.
Yeah, and he's just like, because you know what I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna hurt her in front of you. You know, all of
like, Jesus,
he's so good at that. He's so good. I fucking love. You know what I watched the other night?
It's so uncomfortable. Like you're watching that and you're like, that's not acting. Like it's like he's actually saying that.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is
he's so good.
He is. I can do a good impersonation, but I have to do it face to face. I can't do it on camera unless it's really zoomed in on me. I can do Philip Seymour Hoffman because I know his little things.
Yeah.
But you know what I just watched the other night again, probably now because I saw it in 70mm in New York.
The Master.
The Master.
Oh, The Master.
Jesus. I don't know. I go between Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I can't decide which is the better performance.
No, it's hands down Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's magic.
How did he create that person and how did he embody?
Because it's L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
He just became.
I think he read all his books and
he did.
Yeah, he got into it.
He obviously they skewed it around because it was not supposed to be, but certainly it was.
I mean, dude, he's amazing in everything. Charlie Wilson's War.
Oh my God, I love him in that. He smashes the glass in the office.
Yeah.
But I love when he in The Master when he takes the guy's drink. Joaquin Phoenix's character, Freddie. Freddie makes weird drinks with powder in them and all sorts. And he's like, they're about to taste it, and he's like, And then he drinks it and he's like, oh God. It's fucking masterful.
Oh God, acting. There's so many good ones. And he's never like the lead either, which is I mean, obviously in Master he was the main character, but he's always that great.
Freddie was the main guy.
Yeah,
we don't see
you don't really share the screen
until later. We don't see the Master.
Yeah,
Freddie, he fucks up. He's making the drink, and some guy drinks too much of it, and they think he killed him and poisoned him. And then he winds up fucking cutting. He was a photographer. Remember, he was a photographer in Macy's or something.
I got to rewatch that movie.
And then he like the girl, the model who's walking, because back in the day, models used to show off. They used to walk around department stores in New York.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, and this is our new gown.
Runways.
Yeah, right.
You went to Bergdorf Goodman, and they'd be like, Lois, bring out the girls for Mrs. Johnson, and they would walk around. Yeah. That's what they did. It was amazing.
You know, another one that he steals the show in is the Talented Mr.
Ripley. I know.
God, he stole the show there.
Amazing.
Yeah,
he stole, and his name is Freddie in that movie.
Yeah, his name is Freddie.
He's Freddie. Yeah,
he steals. Like, have you heard from Freddie? Have you seen Freddie? Where did Freddie go? And the only time I've ever seen, it was a very early film of your wife. What's her name? Oh Jesus, your
Blanchett.
wife, Kate Blanchett. The only time I've ever seen her act is in that movie on the boat. I'm like, oh shit, she's new. She's acting.
Yeah,
because she never acted again. She was always dead on incredible after that.
Yeah, the
What
town
next
piece
one?
actually was good.
Like you could see through her.
You could see the acting.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you're just so used to Veronica Guerin. My God, what the fuck was that? Notes on a Scandal, one of the greatest cacophonies of acting
And
I've ever seen in
Capote.
my life.
Remember Capote?
Oh, that was just. And I liked the other one too. What is that guy's name? That diminutive British actor that played. Forgive me for not knowing that guy's name, but I'm old now. Because their two films came out. Of course, Philip won the Academy Award for that.
Mhm.
Toby Jones was the other actor. He was a very versatile guy. He was in Indiana Jones, and what else was he just in? Oh, he was in Mobland, which was a very violent and ultimately unsatisfying series.
One of the last films Philip Seymour Hoffman was in was the one where he's an agent. He's an anti-terrorist agent in Frankfurt.
A Very Dangerous Man.
That's
a very
it.
dangerous man.
Yeah, he's a German DG&G officer.
And I love it. He's in the office, and
so
that tall blonde who's a singer from Germany. I don't know who she is, but she does a bit of moonlighting as acting as an actress. And
is it Uta Lemperer?
I don't know. She's tall and magnificent,
Blonde?
whatever. Blonde. German, very blonde, very stern face.
A most wanted man, sorry.
A most wanted man. And but there's a great line. He arrives into the office and she has a letter on her desk and she goes, "Oh, it's an invite to a wedding. Every time I see one of those, I see another woman go to the wall." And he goes, What about the man? He's also getting married. And she goes, "The man is the wall."
Yeah, was that Nina Haas, right? Is that her name?
Nina Haas. Yeah, I don't know her.
Yeah, I think that's her. I'm looking at the cast right now. Wow, there's a lot of good people in that one. Rachel McAdams is in it. Willem
Where's
Dafoe.
Rachel McAdams been?
She dropped off. She dropped
Daniel-
out of acting, I think. I think Rachel McAdams had enough.
Yeah.
I don't think she's an
Daniel
actress
Bruhl.
anymore. Daniel Bruhl is in that as well.
Yeah,
Daniel
he's
Bruhl.
he's a great one too.
He's in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah,
right?
he's the private.
Yeah. Shooting
the
from
sharpshooter.
Yeah.
The hero of Stalingrad.
I think I want to watch this one. I've never seen this. I think I want to watch that one next.
Which one?
Oh, a most dangerous
Most
man.
Most dangerous.
Or
Man.
most wanted man. Yeah,
That looks
it's a
fun.
great film.
It's a very good film. Yeah.
Because Sicario is about the drugs import and exporting from Mexico to U.S. Right? That's what Sicarios about.
Yeah, but it goes dark.
Yeah. But that's the bit.
Yeah.
Sicario's more about the U.S. government's response to things like terrorism and how they deal with, how you really deal with those things and kind of the darker side.
And Emily Blunt's in
morality.
it.
Yeah, Emily Blunt's in
Emily
it.
Blunt's always good. You
Right.
like Emily Blunt, right?
I love
There's some good character. There's some good actors in it.
Is she ever not good?
No, she's always
Josh
great.
Brolin's in it. You're a Josh Brolin fan, right?
I'm out on him.
He's pretty.
I don't know how I feel about that guy. I think he's okay. He was
good, isn't it?
What was the best thing that guy's ever done?
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
See that I hated that movie.
You didn't like that movie?
No, I just don't know what the fuck was happening in that movie.
It's a masterclass in
cinematography.
cinematography.
Yeah, well, sure, all that, and I love the Coen brothers for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay, let me describe what that movie is. So a famous thing happened years ago that Phil Collins, the ex-drummer of Genesis, copied from his ex-lead singer, Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel, on certain albums of his solo venture, decided he didn't want any cymbal crashes anymore on the drums.
Sure.
So a drum fill would go do-do-do-do-do-do, and then nothing at the end. There was no cymbal crashes that are classic for all drum parts, for all songs. Yeah. There was no big beige at the end of anything, okay? I'm speaking to the musos in the room right now. So you have these empty drum fills. Now, Phil Collins was so inspired by his ex-lead singer, because they were both in the same band for a long time. Phil Collins started stealing that. And of course, one of the most famous drum fills of all time, I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight, goes do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
But also that drum sound.
There's no symbol.
Pioneered by the two of them.
Yeah, right. There's no symbol at the end of the thing. You don't get any big bang moment. Now, No Country for Old Men all the biggest moments and the pinnacle shoot downs and so on are not in the movie. You don't see the main guy get killed at the end. There's no fanfare moments, and they remove all the peaks and troughs from the movie. It is removed from the film. So when you watch the film back, you realize that you're not seeing, like, he arrives along, the shootout has already happened. Yeah. Everybody's half dead, lying in the middle of the desert. We miss that then. Then he takes the money, and we don't see what happens to the other guy who got shot at the tree with the money. We don't see what happens to the end. When Anton Chigurh finally confronts Josh Brolin's wife, that Scottish actress at the end, and we know she's going to get killed. We don't see her getting killed. He just steps out.
You just see him leaving the house,
and wiping his boot, the blood off his boot. They removed all the peaks and troughs, all the cymbal crashes from the movie.
It's like the perfect.
I just want the murder and the cymbal crashes.
Oh man, but it's
maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's what it is. But to me, it was like that perfect use of like white space. You know, where you're drawing on the outside, and the empty space is what makes the art, and you see that visual, and you don't really need it because all the moments of tension are still there. But then at the end, you just come back on the other side of it, and you realize it's still just as good. Even the hotel where Josh Brolin is killed.
Yes.
You don't see that part.
You don't see it.
You see
him. In fact, at first you're like, did he get
what
killed?
happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just goes to a long monologue then at the end.
And it just pans the camera over, and you see this massive shootout. And then
it's because the Coen brothers are like, we hate everything that's conventional, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. That
And
was
Dirk is like, this is the jazz of movies that I hate.
He wants
just to play the right notes.
Please don't say jazz as an umbrella. You know what jazz I don't like. Because I like jazz. I just don't
Can we play the right notes?
Dirk's like, God damn it, I paid to see the climax.
I didn't hate it. I just was like, huh? That's all.
Yeah.
And I've only seen it the one time. I probably need to absorb it again.
What's the message behind No Country for Old Men, John?
Ooh.
What's the message?
No, there's a lot of messages in there. That's a good one.
Think of the name of the film. Isn't it about how there once was law and order? And
so I think it just kind of depends on the character. If you take it from Tommy Lee Jones's character perspective, is that he's aging out of the old style traditional law enforcement to the more hyper violent, drug cartel,
and that it's a new beast that he doesn't.
It's
understand.
A new thing that he's not into. Yeah, he's scared of it.
As a police officer, he arrives and he knows Chigurh is in that room.
Yeah, and he doesn't go in the hotel room. He
doesn't go in. It's his job to go in.
Yeah,
but he walks away because he's like, I don't understand the youth. Today.
Yeah, if you take it from Josh Brolin's point of view,
it's like me on TikTok. I don't fucking get it. I don't. It's like me and the they them thing. I try to. I can't figure it out. I'm just too stupid. You know.
You know, it's funny today. My sister brought her friend of hers, a girl that used to date my nephew, and she's super cute and gorgeous, and she's got a really short pixie haircut. And she goes, "I'm so tired of everybody coming up and asking my pronouns." Because she looks kind of boyish, they all think that she uses they, them. And she's like, no, I'm a girl. They, she, it's her.
Yeah.
And she's 23. She's a little kid. She's so sick of it.
Is it gonna flip again?
Oh, it's gonna go. Is
it gonna be like not having a cell phone is cool? You know, is it gonna flip
not being on social media is gonna be the cool thing?
And I say none of us took out our phones today at lunch at the Carlisle, and no one at any table had their phone on the table, nor was anyone looking at it.
I don't like the phone on the table, even if it's turned over. Just take it off.
Don't put it on the table. Yeah, there's just there's plenty of time for you to doom scroll or do what you're doing in the toilet, on the subway, on the bus, and whatever. You don't need to do that. It's just ridiculous that people.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just,
but it's funny how these things go in fads. Like I saw a meme recently. Like, do you remember the years we used to buy ringtones? Remember many years ago, we'd get new ringtones. We'd actually pay 99 cents for a ringtone.
Yeah.
Now, who on earth has their phone on ring? No one.
Nobody.
Paul.
He has
The
an
Austin
actual
Powers
ringer.
theme, which I sadly made for him 10 years ago. And I'm like, I'm going to murder that phone.
I think
everyone has it on silent. Nobody
even
has it on vibrate. Nobody has it even on
I have mine on silent.
Do not disturb. I keep
mine
on do not
First
disturb.
of all, don't call me. If you call me,
there's an emergency.
It happened by accident when I was live streaming in Dublin. It's a kind of famous live stream because I got into a fucking tiff with a dude and I was about to break his fucking nose. I swear to God, I'm glad it didn't happen. It would have been the most golden thing for all the haters, and I probably would have gotten charged. But I was in a pub there in O'Donoghue's off of Bagot Street, and I'm in the middle of a stream, and I get a call from my older sister, Neve. And historically, who's dead? Who died? Historically, when I get a call from Neve, I get a text from Neve. She texts all the time about politics and things. If I get a call from her, someone died. And I actually had to interrupt the live stream because I was like, this is probably huge. And then she texted me. She goes, I'm so sorry. I called you by mistake. I was just like, oh no, Jesus Christ.
I've told my wife this, like, don't call me. If you're calling me, there's something wrong. You know,
who died?
Wrong. Yeah.
Worse is my sister used to text me and say, call me. I'm like,
oh yeah. That's my favorite.
I had very old parents, and I'm like, oh God, what happened?
Yeah.
And then she'd have to write, don't worry, no one's dead.
I just want to complain about something. Or
actually told my boss that I told my boss that a couple of weeks ago because he would send the message, hey, give me a call. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you got to stop with that. Like, you got to preemptively tell me if this is, So now when he messages me, he'll say, give me a call, nothing urgent. I'm like, okay, that's good. I don't need the call me, because if call me is either you're either about to get fired or you're going somewhere you don't want to go. Something happened. So it's
I've a bunch of haters standing in front of me in an office. Call me.
Call me. We need to talk.
We're looking for you.
Your security clearance hasn't gone through.
On the phone with, though, but we all still. Some of us still talk on the phone. I talk to you on the phone. I talk to my sister. I talk to Meme. I speak to a couple of people that I have lengthy phone calls with.
Right.
But the majority of everybody else is just,
it is strange how that dynamic breaks down. If you don't have that preset, then you're right. Like you start to freak out. Or like when if my wife's parents call.
It's like I bought 3 ties, which is the best one.
You got to FaceTime, then it's acceptable because then
he sends pictures. He does like a photo shoot and then he sends them along.
It's fun. It's like an old married couple. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ray. Sorry.
Where are you going? You going to Timmy's because we're boring the shit out of you?
It's worse than the late show. Why? What's wrong? He doesn't like us talking.
You want to talk about movies and stuff?
You want us to talk about politics and foreign wars?
No.
John, what's your top 5 movies of all time, or close to it?
Top 5?
Can you give me 5 films?
Well, I would say Sicario's probably up there. Heat.
Okay.
I think Heat is definitely up there. God, I'm trying to think of what movies, if they're on, that I'll just watch.
There's lots of those, right?
I'm gonna. There Will Be Blood. I mean.
Oh yeah,
that's. I know, but that's just. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is phenomenal in that movie.
Oh
man,
he's just in that one.
Those are, I mean, Lincoln was okay.
Lincoln, listen, it took me 4 runs to get through that, and I'm a
long
big
movie.
fan.
Yeah,
it's long.
It's a long.
I watched it once and I was done. It was
Yeah.
good.
It takes forever to get going, and it is gorgeous to look at. Some of the absolute best of Janusz's career. It's amazing looking, but man, and Sally Field, breathtaking in that movie.
Yeah.
But
listen, Gangs of New York is an awful film, but it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's
Just
good
watch,
at it.
Just
I
watch
mean,
his.
and I love Tarantino stuff. I like, Reservoir Dog, like the old stuff, the older Tarantino.
I like all of his stuff. There's not a
yeah.
movie he's made that I
There's
don't
no
think is
bad movies,
What
but I
about
kind of
Django
love
Unchained? Did you like
Django Unchained. Is amazing.
That's
The
probably my
dialogue.
least
Oh, yeah?
favorite.
Yeah, that's my least favorite.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what my least. God, I almost
My
want to say
favorite is
Pulp
Jackie
Fiction.
Brown. I love
wanna
that.
say
oh,
Pulp-
Jackie Brown was great.
Pulp
Jackie Brown,
Fiction is
'cause
probably on the lower end for me as far as my favorite Tarantino.
it is
films.
great though. If you
And the
watch
Kill
it,
Bills.
then
I'm
it's-
not a huge Kill Bill fan.
Oh, they're
the
they're so good.
the Kill Bills are a little
I
meh.
love those movies. They're so violent. They're the polar opposite of No
I
Country for
know
Old
they're
Men.
like,
It's
they're
murder.
comic book, but the
It's
thing I
comic
love about Tarantino is like the tension and the dialogue, and that's what I gravitate towards Tarantino for.
John likes Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious
Yeah,
Basterds
so
is
do I.
obviously a classic.
That might be technically his best film. It probably is.
What
Technically.
should we toast
It's
to?
up there. Yeah, it's
Down to Hitler?
Scotty Love.
All the way
I just want to
down.
say thank you so
all
much.
the way down. So
Scotty Love
Yeah,
says,
all
Ray
the
just
way
called me
down.
Joe Franklin. This is an inside joke. This is for all the Joe LaFaros of the world and everybody else around my age, plus 10, minus 20. There was a show, and if you were in a band, you might get on the Joe Franklin show in New York City. And I was one of the people that said, no fucking way. It was the worst talk show late at night. The Joe Franklin show.
is this a New York thing?
Yes,
only?
he's like this
Oh,
old
okay.
guy who had no place being on television, but it ran for 50 years in New York. It was a TV I don't even know what network it was
Jesus.
on. It was crazy. Eddie thinks that Kill Bill stinks. Well, which one? They're both
I'm not.
two very different films. The first one is a Japanese anime action thriller, and the
it
second
didn't do
film
it for me.
is a black and white movie.
It's just the whole concept. I didn't
Like
like
the
the
whole
whole
Black
like David
Mamba thing?
Carradine, the kung fu thing. It was
Love
just
the Thief. I like anything with James
the
Caan.
Thief. Yeah.
Anything with
Oh,
James
the other
Caan.
one was great. Ronin.
Ronin
Ronin
great.
is a great film. Ronin
That's
is a great
one.
film.
Ray with
That's-
5 books. I don't give a dome. Or you could be Netanyahu. I don't give a dome.
I'm giving our
that's
dome.
pretty- What are we building? The Golden Dome, right? That's what Trump is going to come up with.
Yeah,
the
we're
Golden
building
Dome.
the Golden Dome.
Ah,
God.
Joe LaFaro, I knew it. Joe Franklin show. Do you want to know what's funny, Joe? My drummer from Hitman was in a band before mine, Takashi, and they were on there. And I said, the greatest achievement of my life was not going on the Joe Franklin show. Because if anybody, the Ramones were on the Joe Franklin show. Blondie were on there.
Were
It's
you gonna
so
go on
bad.
there?
We were invited to go on that
Oh,
show. And I
really?
said
You guys said
no.
no?
I said no for sure. I don't
Oh.
think the guys in my band knew who Joe Franklin was because they were all from Long Island and I was in Queensboy. So I knew about it. The Robin Bird. Yeah, everybody knows. Do you know who Robin Bird is? Robin Bird
No.
was a woman that had her own cable access show in Manhattan for like 25 years. And she would sit and she was naked and she'd have guests and she would use various things on herself. It was like kind of pornography, but it was like an adult themed, sexual themed chat show, the Robin Bird show.
Okay.
And it was just hideously bad. But it was
God,
on
there's
the
so
same
many of
thing.
these like little gems and hidden
Oh,
in
well,
access cable in New York.
Well, like Wayne's World, that
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
era of when
Yeah.
cable was new because we had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9.
It was the
They
original
had BBC
podcast.
One. Everybody over there had BBC 1, 2, 3. Ireland had a RTE 1, 2. They didn't
was the
have much.
It was the
Here's
podcast.
some belts. I got some belts.
Oh, you got your belts. Oh, you got a
Yeah.
white belt, aren't you daring?
Well, I got this thing. That'll be nice for the dark pants, yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
Summer vibe.
Yeah.
Then I got the dark brown you were talking
Yes.
about. And I liked this lighter brown one.
Okay. Well, you like that's
Is
You
it
like
good?
I'll be
Sure.
right back,
That's
guys.
great. No.
Sure.
I'll be right back. Pee break.
Sure.
Yeah.
What, do you hate it?
No, I like it a lot. Sure. No,
That
it's
might
terrific.
work with the tanned seersucker that I have.
And it's gonna look great. Perfect.
And then the brown loafers,
the brown
penny loafers.
You're in.
Yeah.
That's a great look. Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Eddie, $5. Eyes Wide Shut is the most interesting film of all time because it never was ended properly. We're very big fans, Eddie. We're huge fans of Eyes Wide Shut. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies. I love it. I would say it's in my top 10. I love it. Modern films.
Yeah,
Ray 10 euros. Cheers, Dirk. Not so much. What are you mad at him for?
Because I said he was complaining. And it's like talking to a woman. It's like, do you have your period? You know, when she's angry and you go, what's wrong with you? Do you have your period? And then she gets even madder.
Oh, Jim, you have no idea what's going on with it. It's like the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. That's what's happening over here. He's had a whole Eliza Doolittle thing going on here. He's got some seersucker. He's got gorgeous loafers. He's got some ascot. He's got amazing new wardrobe.
I got more ascots in the mail today. They're nice.
Oh, did you?
By the way, they're actual ascots.
Yeah.
So they're folded in the center and they
correct.
widen out.
Yeah.
Whereas the other thing the other day is just basically a tie you put around your neck.
Yeah.
Like
those are fun too. By the way, that didn't look good on Daniel Craig. He's got the wrong mug for it. It was rough. That's a rough look. I know that when I watched that movie Queer that he was in, which was hideous, do not watch that film under any circumstances.
Okay.
You won't want to know any gay people after it. It's just horrible.
Oh wow.
And also it turns into a ayahuasca movie. It starts off with him just being a drunk old queen and then turns into this ayahuasca quest, which is just bleh. Because anybody who wants to go to the top of a mountain and pick berries and stew them and then throw up for a week, what the hell is why?
That's what my ex got into at the end of her. The one from Staten Island, the crazy bitch. She one of the crazy bitches. She got mad into ayahuasca. Yeah, she got really into that. And yeah, you throw up and you kind of find your inner self and whatever, you face yourself or whatever the fuck was her revelation. I was like,
fuck that.
You know, I was like, this is kind of gross and sad.
Anthony Chan, Trump is hiring seat fillers for what parade is tomorrow?
Yeah. It's on Craigslist.
Oh, what's his military? He's having a military.
He's having a Kim Jong-un
like they used
Russia parade? Like to show off our military might?
Yes.
That is not something that free democracy does.
No.
It's something they do in North Korea.
Wait a second. I never heard of this. When that's really happening?
Oh yeah, that's
really happening.
Even Republicans are kind of like, yeah, we're not into this. I mean, you got Republican senators and Congress people that are kind of like, yeah, this is a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening. It's for his birthday, and it's going to be. I'm actually going to DC, not for this, but in a couple weeks. And
oh my god,
they're paying $1,000.
This is weird. This is a weird thing to see.
They're paying or it would appear they're paying $1,000. Who knows what's real news anymore? To fill seats. But just the other day, he did a thing at Fort Bragg, and all the boys behind him going, yeah. And he went. Of course, he spent his entire time talking about Biden. Because, of course, that's important for the country to tell everybody how awful the old guy was and how everyone is so much better off now. Because bitching about the ex-girlfriend is, of course, very
that's how you convince the current girlfriend.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But, it turns out...
What a loser.
Yeah, it turns out that they actually handpicked all the people behind him to make sure they were all pro-Trump. And one of the things was they didn't want any fat people. They didn't want any fat military behind him. That was on the list. I don't want any overweight people behind him.
It was on Craigslist?
No, the Craigslist is a different thing.
Yeah, Craigslist.
On Craigslist right now. Yeah, you're hired to go along to this big parade and cheer. And you get you can get up to $1,000 for doing it.
It's like the North Koreans that pretended to be upset at the Kim Jong-un funeral. You know, you have to cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's getting to that level.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, baby.
Listen. Musk went at him there last week, but Musk is proved himself to be a moron. Because the truth is, if you want to get to Trump, you have to say something that will actually get to him. Saying he's on the Epstein list and so on is not going to get to him. you have to say the truth is Trump's crowds are tiny, Trump's hands are tiny, and Joe Biden was better, or say something like that, and that'll really get to him.
Oh, that he could, if he said that, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got a bigger cock.
Not as big as Arnold Palmer.
If Joe Biden, they say he was hung like a horse. I don't believe it. It was the tiniest penis in the world. Never satisfied a woman in his life. I satisfied him with my checkbook. That guy has never had a woman in his life who wanted to fuck him.
Right.
Never. Never happened. Joe Biden was actually quite handsome when he was young.
Was it last week you guys were talking? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, he was a good-looking guy back in the day. I don't think.
Who was?
Yeah, Biden was a good-looking guy.
Biden was a very handsome guy back in the day. He was very fit always. He used to run. He was very, very fit. Donald has always been, his hair has always been too long. I'm not saying he was ugly when he was young, but, he's just, just imagine. But it was the old Rosie O'Donnell joke. She goes, the hookers used to go like this.
But yeah, the Trump parade is happening. Military.
So we're gonna show off our as if we live in one of those countries.
Well, we've only done it one other time.
Have we?
Yeah, I think in modern history, the only other time we did it was after the Gulf War.
Which
is weird. Oh. Yeah, we had a weird parade after the Gulf.
Showed that we're winners. We're the winners.
That's maybe a victory.
Yeah, we won it. In 100 days. In 100 days, we pushed Saddam.
We won the Gulf War.
Out.
Did we? Was there a
the first.
Remember, he landed the plane he pretended to land the plane himself on the aircraft carrier with mission accomplished. And then Cher came out.
You're thinking about time. You're thinking about that was. Wait,
that was Iraq. I wasn't. I was
the mission accomplished thing was. Yeah,
it wasn't 2003. Mission accomplished was the Iraq War. I'm mixing them up.
Cher was. Yeah, Cher
was on the aircraft carrier with all the troops around her. She's in a string. She's wearing a string around her.
And that's who. And that's who those guys wanted to see.
She sang?
If I could turn back time, I just sang it.
You're both gay.
Yeah.
We qualify, John. We qualify.
We're just students of history. We're just students of history.
You're just students of Joe Biden. Looking at pictures.
To be fair, Oisin sang it. I just named the song.
That's right. I sang it. Guilty.
Oisin sang it into his cigar.
Diane Warren wrote that. That was one of her millions of #1 hits. The most milquetoast writer in the world. But hey, man, she's very successful. It's incredible.
Yeah, just need that one. That's all you need. Just need that one hit.
I mean, Cher has had a #1 hit in every decade for the last 7 decades. How fucked up is that? She's like a cockroach. She's going to be here forever. I mean, everything from whatever that last dance hit thing was to like "I Got You, Babe." That was in like 1965.
Yeah, Cher is a kind of a strange alien, isn't she? She's not human, right?
She tells a great story about how when she wanted
never did it for me, man. I don't know how she was ever a sex symbol.
Well, she was very different looking, she's unique.
She just reminded me of like an ant that you're just like, put some clothes on. Fuck, you're my aunt.
She had a great body though back then for those Bob Mackie gowns. I mean, she was in great shape. She was in great shape, man.
I don't know, man.
I mean, because she didn't have big giant boobs or anything like that.
Maybe it's because my aunt looked like her and it just did never.
Oh, really?
It's just like a tall Jewish lady. That's all I can think of. Like this Long Island, Jewish aunt. You're just like, oh, God.
Do you know that David Geffen and her were lovers for years and he's gay?
Cher is Jewish, right?
Was with everyone.
Cher is Armenian and Irish.
I thought Cher was Jewish.
No,
Isn't she Jewish?
She's Armenian.
I'm thinking of Barbara Streisand.
Her name is Sherilyn Sarkeesian, and her mother was a Texas Irish beauty queen.
Irish.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
Irish,
Just as Irish as a
Cherokee,
tackle.
Irish, Cherokee, and 50%. What did I just say? Armenian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, she used
my
to
algorithm's
model all
really gonna fuck
those.
with me now because I'm looking up Cher. Oh, you know
You're
what?
fucked,
I'm
man.
looking at an old picture of her with Sonny Bono. She's actually, oh Jesus, she was hot.
Well,
I
way
take that
back
back.
then,
hot.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
hot.
Well, that's when
70s
that's the
shit.
Cher show, the Sonny and Cher show.
Yes,
Yeah,
way
70s
back,
Cher.
way
You're not
back
talking
then.
about.
Yes.
She's 80, man. She's like 79.
No, but we're thinking
Jesus,
of turn
look at
back
those-
time
she's got like
on the aircraft carrier. You know, when she's wearing a string
Yeah.
and some fishnets, and it's a little bit too much. So, like, put on a fucking dress.
Yeah,
please.
that's not. Yeah, I'm looking at that picture, and that wasn't. Yeah, that was too much.
Eddie,
That was
$10. A
Madonna
question
look.
for John. I can't
Uh-oh.
remember the source. I hope you do. A report stated that Biden has
Okay.
or had an IQ of 189, Trump 147. I don't know.
There's
if
no
these
way
twos are
in the
right.
world that the guy who can't read has 147 IQ. There's just no.
No, there's no
way.
way. And 189 is
47
kind of
maybe.
astronomical. There's no way. I mean, I don't think he is.
No, I don't.
People
know
with a
if that's-
189
I've never heard that
IQ
before.
can't talk to other humans. You know what I mean? They sit in a basement and play chess in their mind. You know what I mean? 189.
Yeah,
If you
I
said
don't think-
139, I might say, oh well, fair enough, because most people have an IQ of about 105, 110.
I think that people with that anything above average probably don't even go to politics. I don't think
Right.
a guy with a
Yeah.
147 is going to go
Well,
into politics.
What
and-
about Clinton? He's very high IQ. No,
Jeez, I wouldn't say so.
I don't know, man. I just think there's.
I don't trust any
mean,
of these sources.
I don't like the reporting on those things either because those White House doctors. Are
Yeah, Scotty
appointed,
Love, I
so
think
they're
it goes
not
up to
going The White House
182.
position is.
Yeah,
I
if you're
mean,
talking about
how do you
Mensa,
take an IQ? Has
right?
anybody up here ever taken an IQ test?
It's a
Millions,
standardized
I took millions of them.
test. Yeah, it's a
I took
standardized
millions of
test.
them when
but-
I was a kid. I was a problem kid, and I had to go to a psychiatrist when I was a
Because
little
they're
kid.
like, he's retarded.
They were like, he's fucking insane, like, and really stupid, or he's the other way. And I had to do all sorts of tests. And then I got a little obsessed with it during my teens, and I started doing lots of them, and the Mensa tests and everything. I got a little obsessed by it. I think it goes to
Yeah.
180. Also, I think Scotty, who said that? Scotty Love. A 189 IQ, you wind up in the chess tournament, and people can't talk to you.
Yeah.
Because you get nervous.
I think it
there's
just
something-
measures, and it only measures the quotient. It's not raw. It's just raw intellect. And then there's people. There's emotional intelligence. There's social intelligence. There's cognitive.
Well,
processing. There's
IQ
all that
doesn't
stuff.
include
If you're
emotional
really good at
intelligence.
puzzles, but
Can you hear? Can you
it
hear
doesn't.
us?
I
Is-
thought
or-
they- well, yeah,
we're
yeah,
coming
sorry.
and going. I
Am I
think there's
cutting
a
out?
there's a lapse. We're doing.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
I
a
can hear you.
CNN report.
a
in
delay.
Iraq.
A delay.
There's a delay. There's a
Tell us
5-second
what's
delay.
happening on the ground in Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
As
no,
you can hear behind me,
We went to dinner.
there's
we had a nice
inbound
lunch.
missiles.
Intelligence code doesn't include emotional intelligence. It's visuospatial, numeric, and linguistic,
Yeah.
and there's one other one I can't remember because I have apparently a very high IQ and I can't remember.
No, but I think in
But
terms of
visuospatial is a huge
politicians-
one. If you want to test your visuospatial right now in the weirdest fucking way, do this, right? Take a knife or a pen or something, long object, and put it on the table upright in front of you, like this. Upright. Sit it down on the table in front of you.
How do you
okay?
put? What do you mean?
Just
upright?
sit it down on its ass.
But it won't
right?
stay though.
No, don't hold it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hold it, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine that's a tower and it's going to fall over straight over to the left, right? Or the right, whichever you like.
Okay.
But maintaining its foot where it is on the table. Okay. Imagine. Don't do it. Imagine. Okay.
Yeah.
Put a finger from the other hand where you think the tip will
Oh,
arrive.
okay. Should I do this on camera?
Yeah, do
Hold
it
on
on
a
camera.
Hold
Can
on
you?
a second. I might be able to do that. Hold on. Let's see. They have this. Gotta clean off my desk so I don't look like a barbarian.
So you have this thing like this, right?
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Let's see. That's called Desk view. Does that work?
I think
Can
I
you
know.
see-
I think I know where this is going.
Can you see it now?
No, we can't. It's still
can
you.
see
Set up
you.
desk view.
So you want it to drop over like it's a falling tower like this. So put your finger on the table here where you think the tip of it's going to land. I can tell you the answer right now, but I'm not going to give it away.
Oh, I was trying to do this desk view thing, but it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to try to guess where it is. Okay.
Yeah. Where the tip is going to land when you
So
do
I'm trying to spatially measure out how long.
spatially measure how long that is on the plane, on the X plane instead of the Y plane.
Okay. I just
and now gently tip it over. Don't keep the foot wherever it's sitting, where it is stagnant, and let it fall over. You went beyond. And
no, I didn't. It's touching it.
It's actually touching the tip. So you got it right?
I'm touching the tip exactly.
Okay, so you have very high visual spatial.
Maybe.
Almost all people in the world will go about a centimeter. I mean, that in this case, with this length, about a centimeter short of it. Visual spatial ability is a very bizarre thing.
I had what they do exactly on the edge.
Well, that's
crazy.
Well, do you ever see those tests where they show you a list of like 100 numbers and another list of almost exactly, except there's one number that's different? Do you get it like that?
I always get that.
Sure. Okay, so you have very, very high.
But don't give me long division. I can't do it.
They very, very high.
I don't remember.
They do a similar test like that. You know who uses that? Secret Service actually has that on their test. They show you a picture. So you're flipping through the booklet, you're taking the test, and on one of the tests, it's a visual spatial thing. And you see a picture, and it has, cars, a building, whatever, right? Just the background.
Uh-huh.
And then they have you look at that picture for, 2 minutes, and then you flip the page over to where you can't see the picture. And it asks you 5 or 10 completely irrelevant questions that have nothing to do with the photo. How many states touch the Pacific Ocean? What's the capital of Alaska? What's 100 plus 350? Whatever, like these random questions. And then you flip the page over again, and then it starts asking you questions about the picture. How many windows were in the building? Yeah. What was the color?
I love that.
What was the color? Yeah. What was the color of the van parked next to the corner of the street? How many windows are open? How many windows were closed? So it measures your acuity to not only, receive the information, but retain it and recall it after something else happens. So that's one of the hardest, actually. It's the old Treasury test. I don't think they do it anymore. I think they changed it. But that was the old Treasury exam, which is when Secret Service was under the Treasury.
Whoa. Wow. Secret Service was under the Treasury?
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah, now it's under Homeland Security. But it used to be. Oh,
so now Christy Nome's the boss. Ah.
Yeah, Christy Nome's in charge of Secret Service. She's in charge of all of DHS. She's everybody's boss.
I had a very funny couple of hours with the former head of the Treasury, and he's a really amazing dude. Hank Paulson.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Where'd you meet him?
My mother-in-law died, and she worked for him and Lloyd Blankfein.
Oh wow!
So we've known him a long time. She only worked for Hank for about 5 years, but she worked for Lloyd forever. And great guys. They both gave speeches, and he's a very funny guy. He's an ornithologist. Him and his wife take trips to go bird watching. He's a very fascinating guy. The Treasury did not work out for him ultimately in the end.
Yeah,
because that was
Secret Service was actually started back in the what was it? I think it was post Civil War, because there was so much counterfeiting that was their actual main mission, was
interesting
anti-counterfeiting, and then they didn't actually start presidential protection till I can't remember who the president was. There was an attempt on the president, and I think it was like sometimes in the early 1900s, and that's where they started.
Oh, boom!
Oof,
that's Tel Aviv earlier tonight. That one got through.
A couple got through. Jesus,
what is the Iron Dome exactly? Is it just does Just missiles that can shoot down incoming ballistic missiles.
Yeah,
It's
they're high
missiles that shoot
speed.
down
We need
missiles.
lasers.
They're small. Yeah, lasers will do it faster.
Yeah.
They're small, high speed missiles, and they intercept. But they have a maximum they can fire at any one time. So if you want to get through it, you have to
gotta
fire a
overwhelm.
lot of missiles, and like only 30% are going to maybe make it through. So yeah, things are getting crazy. Craziness in the world.
Anyway, guys, 3 hours in, we should probably call it quits. Thanks so much, Hey, John. What a great addition. Thanks for coming on in today. Thanks so much. Yeah, Paulson's in Too Big for Fail. He's a very interesting guy, though, guys. Very fascinating fella. And he's very tall. Yeah, thanks, everybody. We had 29 super chats. Oh, my God. Joe LaFaro for Sonny Bono. Eddie, $10. Ray, Eddie, Joe LaFaro, Ray, you were 1,000 air tonight, my friend. Ray again. Ray again. What's going on here? Ray again. $2. Look at that. $2. Ray, look at this. You're going crazy tonight. Ray. Joe for Forrest Tucker. Yeah, baby. Ray, you were like out of control tonight. Beautiful Sharon. Ray. Andrew Wolkowicz. Love you, man. Ray so much. Eddie. I see somebody's cooking right now. Joe LaFaro. Thanks, Franchise Club, for all that. Travis, $10. Thanks, Travis. Great to see you. Your wrist is amazing. John. Oh, there's John. There he is, $10. He paid to play tonight, right? And Andrew.
I paid this.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all that fun stuff tonight. John, thanks so much for coming on in and
anytime,
hanging with
fellas.
the boys. It was a lot of fun.
No, it was fun, man.
Yeah, it was a nice little chat.
I appreciate it. Glad it was lighthearted and,
we don't need to talk about all that shit. Because you know what? The rest of the world is doing it for us. We don't need to.
We're not gonna solve anything on YouTube anyway.
Zero.
Now, guys, we're gonna save lives and change the world.
We do it all the time,
Here's what we're gonna do, fellas.
Nobody's an anti-Semite here, Jonathan. Todd over 90. Nobody's.
Is Israel the anti-Semites hang out?
Israel started.
I guess I better see myself out.
John is a Jew.
Jesus.
You're a self-loathing Jew. You know that?
Yeah, that's the best kind. That's the original.
I'm a self-loathing Catholic.
I'm a true stereotype.
You stereotype.
As Woody Allen said many years ago, he goes, "Hey, listen, I may hate myself, but it's not because I'm Jewish."
Right. Exactly true. Guys, thanks so much. I'll be back. I'll be back on Sunday Mass. I'll be back probably a little bit later because it's Father's Day and my birthday. So I'm going to be hanging around with my family for a little bit of a while. And then I'll probably do the show about 3 or 4. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. Ush, when are you going to be back? You going to have something popping up on your channel soon? Something new and fresh? For the
I did a walkabout. And
today?
The last couple of days, I'm going to compile into real content. Remember those when I used to do unboxings and walk around? Yeah. So there's a new one coming out for the Cartier and the Chiaranardo watch. Nice. Is popping. And I walk around. I go show people the price of things in the supermarket, price of eggs, price of booze, price of all that.
I love it.
Give everybody an idea. And I also go to a tailor. I found a tailor. Where I bring my pants, my pants.
I'm so proud of this moment.
To be accorciate, like the hemming, the length, and you see the whole thing go down. I have to pick them up on Monday. Yeah, so you're gonna really enjoy it. I think you might really like that one.
I can't wait. Everybody, if you can, give a shout over to the Oisin O'Malley channel. Also, we probably will be doing some more stuff soon with Michaela Deshetian. Don't forget to watch her at Michaela Deshetian at Instagram and on the YouTube channel. Thanks to all the Patreon Pantheon.
She has a new video, by the way. She posted a new video
today. Then let's everybody run over there and go check it out. Guys, if you have any stuff for the Gallery of Bashtards, Basherdirk@gmail.com. That's Basherdirk@gmail.com. Also, you can watch us at the Watch Fashion Police. You can find us there every single once a month nowadays. And of course, there's this guy over here at the Watch channel. Now it's called the Oisin O'Malley channel. So just give shout outs to everybody. Thanks, everybody. This is how you get a hold of him, Oisin O'Malley channel at gmail.com. We're here. We're YouTubers, get used to it. Thanks so much, guys. Remember to hold the door open. Remember to say please and thank you. And remember, if you meet somebody who maybe has one opinion versus the other guy who has that opinion, and they're fighting, I fight with you. No, I fight with you. I fight with you. Let's take. Why don't you have a meal, relax, and let one of them prove that they're either the nicest person in the world or they're just a con.